I don't.
I don't know who that.
Guys ready? Hello there. We're calling the meeting to order at 6 o'clock exactly. Hello, everybody. I recognize, or I don't recognize a couple of faces. So I'm Victoria Silver, for those of you who don't know me. And we're going to introduce the board shortly. So I've called the meeting to order, and now we're going to establish quorum. So
John Butterworth.
and we have proof of notice on the notice. Thank you.
Okay,
All right.
done.
John Butterworth.
Robert Busser.
Jenny Brewster.
Ronnie Briand.
We have quorum. All right. So I'm sure everybody knows that the purpose of this meeting is to talk about the upcoming assessment and what goes into assessment and how much it is. So, because there's, first of all, I'm thrilled to see so many people. I wish we had so many people at all of our meetings. I'd like to propose a few ground rules just so that we're not here into midnight or even 9 o'clock, which I really. I would ask, what we're going to do is we're going to go through the assessment section by section and address any questions on that particular section. And then we'll move on to the next section. So I ask that you keep your questions or comments to whatever section we're on. And if you have questions or comments on another section, you wait until we get there so that we can close one section at a time. If you are going to speak, because we have how many people on?
Okay, here's who's on the call. Bula Hayes, Liz Maslink, Dawn Muchko, Gary Viles, Kelly Coleman, Francisco, and Tammy Mateo. And Kelly, I'm sorry, you have someone with you.
And so we have several people on
His wife, probably.
Yes,
we have
yes.
several people on the Zoom call. So what we'd like to ask is if you want to speak, would you please come up to the front and speak to everyone so that they can hear you?
Right there.
So the people on the Zoom call can hear you and know who's talking, because apparently if you don't identify yourself somehow, then it's just like a generalized talking in the background. So I think those are the only things we're going to add. Oh, yes. And Kathleen asked, if you have cell phones on, would you please turn the ringer off so it's not ringing in the middle of the meeting? That'd be great. And I think, did I forget anything critical? Or should
No, I think that's good. And then the people on the Zoom call, please keep yourself muted unless we call on you to take a turn to speak.
And do they know what to do if they want to speak? Or do they just...
Well, there is a way to raise their hand. If they don't know how to do that, just raise your hand. We'll see you.
Okay, super. All right, so I'm going to turn the meeting over to Jenny, who's our treasurer. And she's going to go through the details of the section that we're talking about. And then we'll open up the floor for questions and comments about that topic. And then when everyone's had their say on, apples, whatever we're going to talk about, then we'll close off the discussion, and the board will have some sort of discussion itself of whether or not we're going to include that section in the assessment and for how much. Did I say that correctly?
I have a question.
Yeah. I'm sorry, is it your turn to talk?
Well, I just want, and this is a kind of a rule of order. I have a tenant wanting to enter the call.
No, absolutely
Okay,
not.
I'm just checking. I just wanted to make sure. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Victoria, all I'd say is the board has not discussed this yet, so this will be our first discussion over
That
the
is-
points as well.
Yes.
So we have the same questions as well
Yeah,
on the section.
that is true. We haven't had discussion about these other than just passing information around, which I think everybody has seen the sheets of information that came out. So Jenny,
All right,
section number 1.
section number 1 is lining the waste pipes. Which this was a project that was unfunded because it was in our
Lining the waste pipes. I heard a question, sorry.
it was in our reserve study for 10 years out for whatever reason. But we've had a lot of leaks and a lot of homeowners complaints. So we looked into it. Sure enough, it's a hot mess, needs to be done. So that is why we are doing the lining of the waste pipes. So the numbers on that, the contract amount that we've signed with works is $755,000. I do put a 20% contingency on that. And just speaking in general, I put a 20% contingency on everything. Thus far, as the treasurer of Pierce 100, I only have a couple of examples. The Valcourt contracts, we put a 20% contingency and we use every single penny. It's a 50-year-old building, unexpected stuff comes up. ELSS project, we had a very small contingency and we are having to propose an assessment to get that project fully completed. So in my mind, 20% contingency seems like the way to go. Obviously, yes, proven as far as I can tell based on the recent big project. So obviously we can discuss that project by project in case it doesn't make sense somewhere. But yeah, so the 20% contingency is $151,000. The 3% permitting costs and 2% engineering costs. Yes, Victoria.
Didn't the engineering company actually tell us what that we needed to set that aside in the event that they had pipes that they couldn't line that had to be replaced? That's what I remember from the contract.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that all of these were recommended in their contract.
Yeah.
So yes. So permitting, they said it's typically 3%. That's 22,600, and engineering 2%, 15,000. We do not yet have an engineer engaged, so that number could be slightly different. That could be part of what we need to use some of our contingency for if it turns out all the engineers say, no, I need more than that $15,000 for this job. So that total cost proposed for the assessment is $943,918.50. As far as timing goes, we have had to make the down payment to Blue Works just to get in line for their schedule. $1,000 that has already gone out the door. The plan is for this work to commence in either March or April was the time frame they gave us. So that's why now is kind of the time to set the assessment, give everyone a few months to collect money, get it paid so that we have the funds to pay for this project as it moves forward in March and April. I think that's kind of my comments on that. Any board member comments, questions?
I do. So the 20%, we were told to put a 20% contingency on the project because the proposed amount is only for relining the pipes. And before they gave us a proposal, they actually came in with cameras and put cameras down all of the waste pipes to see what kind of shape they were in. And they found some that were basically in such bad shape that they said to us, we don't know if we're going to be able to reline these. You may end up having to replace some portion of this pipe because it's in such bad shape. So it's possible that the relining will not happen and that we'll have to replace, which is going to be more expensive. So that's why the 20% contingency is so important on this particular project. And there was something else you said, I can't remember. Oh, I know. And an engineer. The purpose of an engineer, and by the way, if I'm telling you something you already know, I apologize, but not everyone knows, I think. The purpose of an engineer on a project like this is basically to make sure that we're not being taken for any work that hasn't been done. What they would do every month, so we'll be billed on a monthly basis by the company that's doing the relining. Every month, whatever they get done, 600 linear feet or whatever, we'll get a bill for that. The engineer's job is to put the cameras down the pipes that they said they reline, verify that they did actually reline or fix the pipes that they said that they had done, and that the quantity of the pipes that they said they fixed are the quantity of the pipes that they're billing for, so that we're only paying for work that's being done. It's not absolutely required to have an engineer. It's not something that they require, but they highly recommend it. And I think given the dollar value of the project, it being almost $1 million project, it very much makes sense to have an engineer to make sure that we're paying the right amount.
Is that prudent work
There's that prudent word, yeah. I will say that I don't think having an engineer is inexpensive. We did just this afternoon, before I came down here, I got an email from Kathleen saying, I got a quote from an engineer for the project. It's, I think, the first quote of a couple that we're gonna get. And it was $225 an hour, which is comparable to what our structural engineer charges. And I don't really know, I mean, it could be like $2,000 a month or so, I don't know.
9.
Well, no, if they bill on a monthly basis, if they just do a fixed monthly charge, it would be $9,000 a month. But we can also have the choice of doing it on a per hourly basis. And I don't know how many hours does it take to verify that the work was done and fix and check the bills. I don't know. So that's something we're gonna have to look into, but I don't think that the $13,000 was listed on the assessment is actually gonna cover the full cost of the engineer, so we may end up using some of the contingency for that as well. Can you hold off on your questions for now, but we are gonna go into pipe running questions. Did you guys have anything else you wanted to add?
I just think it's an essential thing we've got to do. I think everyone knows this wasn't built into anything at the moment. We're going to do it. It has to be assessed, and we need to do it. The spread was what I've been pestering you about, and thank you for what you gave me.
Tori did that. Yes, I forgot to mention that since this is a 7-month project approximately, there is, I think on this project, some room to have part of the payment be due, yeah, like in June 1st or something.
What, did we, at one time, did we do any pipes back years ago and they stopped or they had?
You know what? There were some entry pipes replaced, and that's when I got Blue Works involved because I wanted to look at lining entry pipes, but we don't. You have to work backwards.
Yeah.
Basically, if we replace all the entry pipes, the pressure on the system would be so great, we'd have leaks coming out of every place.
John,
So-
you're talking about supply.
Supply, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Supply pipes are the last thing we do. We start at the back, we work forward. So you do all the waste, you go forward and then do. Yeah.
I do want to say one more thing. The scope of the work is to reline all of the waste pipes for all of the stacks. It's also to clean the condensation lines, like condensed lines.
Condensing.
Air
Okay.
conditioning, yes.
Air conditioning lines, to clean all of our air conditioning lines because those seem to back up the most. And also they would be cleaning the major waste pipe that leaves the building out. I don't know quite how far, I'm sure the contract says, but it's not just the individual ones that are coming down the building. They're also going to clean out the one that goes out of the building to the city pipes to make sure that that is not clogging anything up. And did I leave anything else that was?
It will be like having new plastic pipes.
Yeah, hopefully they, let me just make sure we're done and then we're going to open it up to owner questions.
Sorry, I hadn't. Are we able to spread this? I'm looking at it, trying to do it in 3 phases. We obviously got the initial cost. Could we do 3?
Can I make a suggestion? Why don't we just get through the dollar amount and the questions from the owners, because I'm sure I'm seeing that they have a lot of questions.
Yeah.
And at the very end, when we know what the dollar is and we know
Okay,
what the
all right,
spread is for
yeah.
all of them, we can
Because
talk about timing.
Whatever basic contracts.
Okay, so somebody over here had their hand up first, I forget who it was. I think it was Janet.
they need to come up here. They need to come up here.
Oh, would you mind coming up here?
You have to come up here.
Talk to Zoom.
Hop
Whatever.
along.
Thank you.
Stand on the X.
Yeah. Where's the button?
I heard Jenny say it was gonna be a 7-month
Maybe you
project.
should identify yourself.
Oh, Janet Neiman, 803. Is there gonna be a deadline to this? Give them, and are they gonna be here every day for 7 months? Do we know that?
I don't know the exact details, but I imagine they'd be here most days for 7 months. So we don't know the exact start date yet.
Right.
We just have an estimated time frame that they gave us. I imagine we will get more information on how it works. So obviously they're only going to work on one stack at a time.
Right.
So it should not affect every unit in the building for a full 7 months, but each staff will have their time when they're not gonna.
Anticipate this drawing out for 2 years, like some other
Well-
projects we've had. so.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's.
All right, thanks. Wait, this gentleman over here was next, yeah?
I'm Aldo from 1206.
Well, Aldo.
Hi, how are you, Victoria? Two questions. Now, I know that a lot of the projects going to go on. A lot of the talk that I was reading on the WhatsApp communication dealt with more than one contractor coming out and giving prices. So now, did that happen on the pipelining and going forward on the other projects as well? That's probably what a lot of people want to know. And the other question is, when you said that they recommend an engineer, who's they?
I'm sorry, Blue Works.
That's the company that's gonna actually do the piping?
Yes.
Now, are they going to give you the engineer or we get?
No.
Okay, right, so it's gonna be a third-party independent engineer. Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
Okay, all
Okay,
right,
thank you.
thanks. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I am Paul Turget. My wife and I, we live in 906. I have a question. Will there be some prioritization about units that have already had damage? Since about a month ago, we actually had a pipe break above us, 1006, and we had leakage into Bob and I have talked about this. We had leakage into our shower. And so right now, we have water stains on the ceiling. We've done an estimate that we have to replace the ceiling in the had planned to redo our place anyway. She did it 20 years ago. We're gonna redo it again. So is there some prioritization about who can get this done? Like, do we have an active hole in our roof? Can that be taken care of?
But this
No,
is
that-
the waste stacks. Keep in mind,
Yeah,
the waste stacks. would not
They've
be-
already done the camera work. So the work on objective is to work from disaster backwards. So,
Good.
yeah.
We just don't know if you're a disaster or not.
Leak is it is.
Yeah.
For us it is.
Yeah, no, understood.
Because they love us, their shower
Oh, wow.
or their toilet in their unit. Because I understand that the pipes are underneath the concrete floor. And so that pipe was damaged.
Well, keep in mind though, that this is the waste stack,
Yeah.
which is a big old pipe that's in probably, I'm guessing it's in the wall between you and the hallway. And it's just that waste stack that's taking all the waste from, up and taking it down.
Basically, it's gonna be the stack when you go outside in the parking garage, you see the cast iron
Yeah.
pipes come down.
Yeah.
Each one of them's a stack to a toilet, basically, or a line of a toilet or unit. So you're gonna have one on each side of your unit. You're gonna have one for the spare bedroom and you're gonna have one for the master.
And one
And basically, I don't know about the middle, but
Yeah.
I know the main waste stacks that's what they're gonna be doing.
Okay.
So that's what they're gonna
It
be.
just really depends on if the waste stack
But-
is what's causing that problem for your unit or not, whether it'll improve or not.
Well, we were told that it was the problem was for between their toilet and the shower. The pipe between their toilet and the shower was the pipe that was damaged and began to leak into our shower.
Between their toilet and
Between the
your
toilet and the shower, yeah, because they had some rotor work done on that pipe
Yeah,
prior to that. And then,
that sounds like it's not part of this project.
okay,
This is exactly what happened by, remember?
Yeah,
It's not the main waste
Yeah.
stack, it's the pipe that goes from the
Yeah.
actual drain to the stack.
okay,
That's where he's having the issue.
yeah, no, this is just the main waste stack. So I think that probably the pipes that you're talking about are ancillary to the,
how do we address that then?
yeah.
How do we address that?
That,
Right.
probably by talking to the property manager, but not
Okay.
here.
Okay,
Yeah, not
that's
here.
my question.
Sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks.
Okay, who's, who else? Yes.
Yeah, so Georgette brought. So when we had our stacks done, like I'm 906, the 6th stack, does that have anything to do with this? Or is that
Say that again.
Okay, so we had stack 6 done. Your supply was replaced. Your supply, yes, nothing to do with this. No,
No.
okay. I thought I was gonna avoid all the noise.
Nice try, Georgette.
Questions about the pipelining, anybody? I don't want to, yes, sir.
You'll probably hear me back here. But some of my questions were answered. Did you get the
Yeah.
3 bids?
But
Please identify yourself, Mr.
Warner Jensen, Unit 702.
Thank you.
When a company tells you to hire an engineer to check my work,
Mhm.
it sounds like a trust issue. Did the other two companies also request an engineer? Because for someone to say, you need to hire somebody to check my work to see if I did what I said I was gonna do, is not balancing on my scales.
Yeah.
It's,
I think Kathleen,
Who would like to answer?
Okay, I just went through this at Tower Isle over on the beach. We did the waste stacks and we hired Socotec. Now I'm trying to get a bid from them as well. It is standard in the industry to have someone come and check the work, check the invoice and verify that, yes, this is the amount, it's okay to pay this invoice. We did that there on a routine basis over there.
We also
Done
did,
that on other.
yeah, we have done that on other projects. It is standard when you're doing a large dollar project to make sure that there's no incorrect billing.
it's us that want to have it checked, not the contractor.
Yeah.
But they work for us.
Usually back in Wisconsin, when I have projects done, we have a start date identified and a completion date. And if the completion date is not met, it's penalties.
Mhm.
Are they doing the same thing here?
So everybody, not everybody, that's the wrong word. I'll speak about this particular company is using what's called an AIA contract. It's a template in this, at least in this part of the world. AIA standing for the American Institute of Architects. And it's almost a boilerplate contract that covers all sorts of different stuff. And it also includes penalties for being late. Now, being late in a contract like this, it's not like you're 24 hours over the contract and we're going to penalize you $1,000. It's much more lenient because there's a lot of things that come and go. But on the big scale, yes, there is definitely, I'd have to go pull up the contract to tell you exactly what it is, but there definitely was a clause in the last AIA contract that I saw.
Mhm.
So I would assume that it's in the same boilerplate.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking though. Yes, sir.
This is Rick in 805. I was wondering how the engineer is going to verify that the work is actually accomplished according to the contract.
I can only tell you what I've heard, which is that he would put cameras down the pipes that were supposedly lined to verify that they were relined. Any other questions? Did I hear somebody online?
I don't see anybody.
Any other? Yes.
This one's easy.
Oh, please.
Ronnie, help me with this. Several years ago, we started.
Okay, now, come on, we've got to.
Tom, you gotta come up here.
Come on, you gotta be like.
Tom, you're talking about the supply part.
Yeah. Ronnie, several years ago, we replaced 2 stacks, I think, of waste pipes.
No, supply parts.
What?
It was the freshwater
Nothing
supply.
Waste. Okay, just want to make sure we want to rely on it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions about the pipe
Yeah.
relining? Yes, ma'am.
Tina Fitzsimmons, 706. I was here for the presentation. And
Can you talk a little louder?
Sorry, I was here for the presentation of the lining.
Mhm.
And at that point, they had said that they might be able to offer scoping out your problem, which was also my problem from upstairs, and for a price for the individual homeowners to see if the tub pipes and the others, it was part of that, if we could, as individuals, have it done to see how our pipes are.
Yeah.
I know my pipe broke and of course didn't help the neighbor below. So my responsibility, my pipe changed it out for all of it. So that's what I'm trying to ask, is if that might be something that's available.
They did tell us that it was
Yes.
available. You're right. I remember that. I don't think that we have heard back from them.
Yeah,
was asked them
follow
once,
up on
but we
that.
haven't really like
Okay.
cracked the whip, but I think that's a really good, yeah, no, that's important because they did, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, they offered to put together a package whereby any owner who wanted to have them come in and put a camera down the owner specific pipes as opposed to the association, main pipes, they could do that for some dollar amount, just so you could have some idea of what the state of your pipes are. But we haven't heard back from them on what that is. I don't think we haven't really nudged them, but that's a good reminder. We'll nudge them, and if people are interested in having their pipes looked at to find out what the status of your pipes are, we can set that up. Kathleen, are you taking an action item?
Yes, and actually they have been out to the property and I did take them in units.
Okay,
So,
We
great,
did it.
ma'am. Well, you want to search.
Billy Matai, 605. Last time we had a discussion about this, I asked about the warranty and you were going to check on that.
I don't have it, but I do have the contract.
Because one of them did offer a better warranty than the other, so.
I think there was 10 years if I thought it was right, 10 years.
It was a standard 10 that they were raising to try and was what they're doing.
Do you have any record of that?
I don't want to misspeak, but
I know.
I know she answered the question. We can go back, I'll get that.
I hate to make people sit here while I follow through the contract. But that's a good question.
But I think, I know that we've got an email on that, so we can check on that.
Hildy, it probably would take me 5 or 10 minutes to go through the 20-page contracts.
I'm taking
But
notes,
it-
Hildy. We'll get back to you hopefully tomorrow, because we've got
I
it.
mean, I would hope that we got some sort of a warranty.
Yeah.
No,
There was that.
it's
It was 10 years.
It's a page contract. I know it's secure, read it.
Okay.
Read it out loud, read it out loud.
Should be telling everybody.
Can you send that out to everybody?
Email us.
Yeah.
I have a question. How are we gonna do this? Let's say if we do have a pipe that's bad between the unit. And both units got 8-foot tall stone on their bathroom walls. And you can't get to that sewer pipe. Who's responsible for paying for the two?
Wouldn't they get to it from the hallway outside?
Say if that's completely corroded and they can't get, or did they verify that all the stacks are good enough that we're not gonna have a problem?
That's really a more detailed question that I think we're prepared to answer, Bob.
I'm just saying.
I can answer what I went through at the last project.
Okay.
If they knew that they had to access this pipe right here, they'd go in this unit, they'd go in this unit, they'd look at all the rooms and figure out what is the least destructive place to access the
And
pipe.
who paid for like if they had tile on both walls, let's say.
That would be my understanding was the owner, but the drywall was handled by the association.
Yeah.
Because the outside is always the owner's the inside.
Yeah.
It's a big dollar
Yeah.
if you put 10.
But we're talking about the main pipe.
I know, that's
Trying
right,
to
but
get-
it could be rotted.
Any more questions on the piping?
With that black stuff.
Yeah. Needs to go before we sleep. All right.
Kathleen, I have a question. We've raised our hand. Sorry that we have our hand raised. I do believe that I heard that we went out and we collected multiple bids. I was just curious as to how many bids we collected and then what the qualifiers were as to who we selected for Blue Works or Bluestone or whomever's doing the work, what the qualifiers were for us to move forward with them.
No, you.
For the original.
What?
The only two that I recall was PRS and Blue Works.
Okay.
If you had one previously, I'm not
No.
aware of that.
No, I think it was. Those two.
It was just-
So we went out the first step of the project was to have somebody come in and put cameras down all of our lines and give us a physical recording of the conditions of all the pipes. And that itself was a bid of somewhere between, I don't know, $15,000 and $20,000 or something. And we were looking at PRS and Blue Works. And based on not only on the dollar amount, but also on the presentation that Blue Works did, we decided to go with Blue Works. They were head and shoulders over the other company in terms of the information that they provided and the extent that they went through to make sure that we understood exactly what was going to be done. I don't know if you attended the board meeting when they were here. Were you here for that meeting?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, that was a great board meeting. I wish we actually had it on tape. They brought like samples of all their work. Anyway, so that's what we went through to pick Blue Works. And then once we had them come in and do the camera work, then they gave us, didn't they come back to a board meeting and give a presentation on all of their findings? And they talked about things like what Hildy brought up, like their warranty and their ability to do examinations of owner's pipes. So they really, I'm just telling you my personal opinion. Others may have.
They made us feel comfortable
Yeah.
about what they're gonna do that.
That's a really good way of putting it. Thank you, Bob. Anyway, did that answer your question?
It does. It does. Thank you. And I have a general question just because, and you'll have to excuse my ignorance on this one.
Okay.
How they're getting to the pipes and how they're going to replace if they need to. Is there potential damage that could be caused inside the building as this is going on? Or is this, I don't know how that works.
Well, no, basically they have a machine, it starts at the top and it works its way down through the pipe. And as it goes, it lines it. It's like
a 3D printer type deal.
So it will lay a plastic layer. There are some types that use socks and you can have stretch issues and break issues. This is like a physical pipe being built inside it. And the machine will work its way down with cameras. So it starts at the top and works its way to the bottom. And then they take it back out. So they will work from the roof. You can never say there can't be any damage because God knows what. But there shouldn't be any damage.
John, my recollection is that they said there probably will be 2 access points per stack, but their hope is just to cut a little hole in the drywall and then be able to patch that and replace that. And all of that is included in this contract, I believe. There's an allowance for 2 access points per stack. So,
but they won't go into the units.
Well, I don't know that.
I don't know where they'll need to do that second access point.
Because that's not a vent pipe, so it's got to have a cap on unless they cut the cap off somewhere.
No, it's a vent.
Yeah, that's a different line. A vent should be a different line.
All right, let's move on for now. That's, yes. I'm sorry, who was speaking last?
I'm sorry, I don't know your first name. Coleman?
Lauren Quattro and Kelly Coleman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Lauren, I'm sorry. Now I know who you are.
Okay. Another question, yes.
It's not a question, it's a statement as far as, they can't drop a single line all the way down. They have to go in between either 6 or 7.
Yeah.
I'm on 6. Or I'm on 7.
Okay.
That's why she knows.
All right, we've got a lot more to go, so I'd like to close off the pipes unless someone has a burning question. All right. Any comments from final comments from the board about the pipes?
And one more thing, do we have to get a permit for this? So it should be done by.
Yes,
we put
So they should verify. that
Yeah,
all-
it's in the cost.
3% cost permitting.
Yeah, they do all that.
Okay.
They should be inspected, make sure it's done.
All right, Jenny, moving along. We're moving on to the water intrusion repair and immediate balcony repairs.
All right. So this is kind of 2 projects in one. We all recall the storms last year where we had a lot of water intrusion issues. Some of us with tropical storms, obviously with hurricanes. So we had Bill Reinhardt, the engineer who's worked with us a lot, come out and put together specs for what will help with that. They evaluated the multiple access points where they think water is getting in, including window sealing, including these metal plates that are on every single balcony or floor, including the sliders, multifaceted problem. They came up with specs for someone to go in and do a bunch of sealing of all of those areas for every single window stack, balcony stack, whatever we call it on the outside of the building. So that's the water intrusion piece of this. The immediate balcony repairs, this is also based on their balcony inspection that they did. They came up with a bunch of balconies with critical things that could actually be unsafe. Spalling on the balconies, post pockets that were loose. We certainly don't want any railings to fall off and therefore people to fall off. So that's the other piece of this. This is not redoing every single balcony. That's the full restoration project down the line. But this is to address needed immediate repairs to the balconies, as well as address all of our water intrusion issues. So that said, we chose to contract with CPR. That contract total is in the amount of approximately $206,000. Based on discussions with Biller Reinhardt, just for as the project goes along, coming, visiting periodically, doing inspections, we've estimated those costs at about $12,000, a little over. Again, I put a 20% contingency on it. That comes to $43,600 and change. And then the contracts that we have already engaged in and already outlaid money for, just to do all of this evaluation of our issues, as well as put together the specs for people to bid on it. That is an additional $45,251. So the total cost of this project comes to $306,963.20. This was not the amount in the original thing I sent out because I forgot to include the Biller Reinhardt contracts. So this is now the total. And as I said, we've already outlaid some cash just to get this project going. And the work is actually scheduled to start the first week of December. So this is expected to be a 5-month project.
Oh, shorter than that.
I thought more like 3.
Okay, maybe only 3. But it starts in a couple of weeks. So that's kind of why yes, we need to do this assessment and get this money so that we can actually pay for this project starting in a couple of weeks. So that's the information I have on that. Questions from the board?
I was just going to say one thing.
Yeah.
When I was elected recently and took over this role, the biggest problem I heard from everybody in the association was the water intrusion, the water leaks. We were just coming off of the hurricane and people were having a lot of leaking into their units through the windows. So we made it, I think we had a meeting in January, in fact, where we talked about what our priorities were. We made it our top priority to try to find where the water was coming from so that we could fix it. It turns out that there's not just one source of water coming in the building. There are multiple ones. And this project is intended to address at least 2 or 3, possibly 4 possible sources of water leakage. I can't guarantee, obviously, that this is going to put an end to all water leakage in the building, but it really should help plug a lot of holes. The next step after this step will be either next year or the following year, where we do the painting. And as part of the painting, they come in and they caulk the entire exterior of the building, like all the little cracks in the siding. So hopefully at that point, that will really heal up our building. And that's all I want to say on that. And now I'd like to know, do we have any questions? Yes,
Actually, can I say one more thing? I also forgot to mention that this does also include some EFIS repairs where they think there might be some water intrusion. I forgot to mention the EFIS repair.
Deb King, Unit 1202.
First of all, I appreciate the water intrusion. We have a real issue here, but I don't think what we're doing is going to help the hurricane situation because it comes in through the sliders.
Yeah.
And I put larger slips along the bottom to help with that. So what we're talking about here is going to help that water intrusion.
Yeah.
The other thing is that CPR saw what needed to be done. And in this case, they've given us a bid based on what they see. It's, in my opinion, it's not as critical as what we might find in the pipes when we get in there. Because they're repairing, they're not going in, they're repairing some structural. So I think the 20% contingency should be null and void or 5. I mean, I really don't see that happening, that we put that aside. I mean, that's 43,000 right there, and there was an error of 44, so it kind of balances out. But I really don't see a contingency for that because of it being surface and not structural in nature. They saw what they saw, so it should be what they gave us a bid.
Could I just respond to that briefly? I think you're possibly right. But I will also say that the Biller Reinhardt inspection that was done ended up with a certain number of linear feet per caulking. So they came back and said, you need, I'm just going to pick a number, like 100 linear feet of caulking. And then they turned around and gave that number to CPR for their quote. It's possible that we only need 95 linear feet, but it's also possible that we need 120 linear feet. So there does need to be a little bit of wiggle room. That's just the way these contracts work. As with all of this, any money that's left over and not spent on this particular project gets put back in reserves. So it does come out in the wash.
And I can appreciate that, but with this huge amount we're facing, putting back in reserves, I think we need to be cognizant of the huge assessment we receive.
That is true. I just would hate to see us get into a situation where we don't have.
Well, we'll have to deal with that down the road, and we can earn interest on our own money in the meantime.
All right, I hear you. Thank you. Other questions about the water intrusion / caulking?
Question.
Yes, sir.
More of a clarification. So that'll be addressed with each unit?
You want to identify yourself again?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Paul Brown again.
To the people who can't see you.
Oh, hello. So, that'll address the deficiencies found with each unit.
What they're doing is they're going to all the windows, all of our picture windows in your units. If you look out your picture windows, some units looks like a little 3-year-old caulked them back years ago. So what they're trying to do is they're going to remove all the caulking from your picture windows in your living room.
Or fixed windows.
Fixed windows.
Yes,
fixed windows.
If you're
And then,
required.
so that's your picture windows.
Right.
And then what the end units, they're going to get different windows done.
I know.
Because that's where all the water came in, especially during the hurricane, that all the end units, water is just gushing down their window that's 4 feet by 10 feet, whatever. Water is just going in as fast as you get it, but it was filling up. So they're going to take care of that hopefully. And then the other thing is with the rust, like in the corrosion, I looked over the balconies with Kathleen, and what happened was all of a sudden we look and there's corrosion on every banister. You look down from the top floor or up to like the 5th floor and above. And you look down and there's rust in every unit. Well, that's corrosion. We're right around the bay. We're getting salt water. It's cancer.
Right.
So
he's wondering though, if
yes.
there's specific damage that was identified for his unit. Am I
Well,
understanding?
yeah, my point was
the window aren't all units. It's the same scenario.
That's my question.
The banister.
It'll address not just the problems that people have, but to prevent problems in the future, you'll be addressing this issue with each of the units.
Yeah.
That's all you.
Yes, so we talked.
Good.
And he was trying to
Thank
explain what,
No,
so everybody knows.
And just so you know, I did not realize the balcony inspection was not out on the website, so that did go out on the website today. So look under inspections and then you click on the little plus and then you go down to exterior building inspection and that's where the report
Thanks,
is.
Great. Yes, sir.
Warren Jackson, 702. I appreciate what's being done, but we seem like we're going backwards here. You're telling us about projects that's already signed for, and so we're already committed. Why don't we get these projects in advance? And then we could say yes or no. Because you spent the dollars already. You know, so there is no no.
So you're correct. There is no unless you run for the board, and you're welcome to run for the board.
And I was
Excellent. That's the best news I've had all night. Yes, because we have to vote on everything. So you do find out about them if you go to the board meetings where these contracts are being discussed. And we always have open questions like we are now about the contracts that we're looking at. Also last year, I don't know if we'll do it this year, but last year in January, we had a planning meeting when we identified all of the different areas that were problematic and tried to prioritize them so we knew which ones needed to be handled first. So that's kind of how we went about it last year. I would recommend that you either go to the board meetings if you can, or possibly read the minutes afterwards to find out what was voted on.
Yeah, and I will reiterate that specifically the lining the waste pipes and the water intrusion, that was in response to complaints, requests by homeowners. That is homeowners telling us that these are their priorities.
Yeah.
And so we looked into it and started the project.
Yes, ma'am.
Hildy Matai, 605. The water intrusion started before COVID in my place. And I think it's stack 5, and I think it's in the side walls on either side of the picture windows. I was really not too happy at one point when they came into my unit. I wasn't there, and I wasn't able to point out what had happened. And then I was told it was not a problem. I didn't like that. So then I was told that Brian, that first project we had was going to take care of it. So I'm grateful that you're doing another project, and I pray that this time they actually do seal the building.
Just so you know, don't we all? Yes, ma'am.
Kevin Charleston, 503. When is this project starting?
December
3 weeks.
something.
When, okay, you said about that it's going to be the permanent windows are going to be caulked.
Yeah.
What about the balconies? Are balconies going to be worked on? Because you're talking about.
The ones that need immediate repairs.
Okay, do the owners know which balconies are going to be worked on if it's theirs?
That's a scheduling thing, and I'm having a meeting with CPR next week, and then we'll sort that all out because we'll want to notify people so that they know. I don't think they'll have to get in the units. I don't know. I'm gonna find that out.
I
But
don't know if
it-
somebody's going to be on your balcony. so you
Well,
have to-
obviously, that's what I was gonna say next. Just like I did with the window washing, you would like to know what's going on, so.
Yeah, because when.
That'll be the office's job. Between Gianna and myself, we'll be notifying people on probably on a daily or every couple of days what's going on.
Other questions about the balcony repairs and the window caulking? No? All right, we're gonna move on. Wow, we did that in record time. All right, the next topic is pool and barbecue restoration. Oh,
Drywall.
Jenny wants to address the drywall first.
Sorry,
Okay.
I'm just trying to get the less controversial things out of the way first. Although I know there's a lot of comments on the drive. Okay. So this is related to the ELSS project, which started back in 2022, 2023 timeframe, was halted because of the concern for asbestos and is now just getting started again. So the remaining contracts that we have outstanding, well, sorry, let me back up. So when we had a concern for asbestos, we thought we'd have to take all the ceilings and all 13 floors down and put them all back up. So that little $65,000 drywall contract, we thought was not going to be appropriate. It was canceled. Most of the money was refunded, except for like $2,300 of something that they had worked on. So we do not currently have a contract in place to do the drywall. All costs and work aside, the current state of affairs for the ELSS project is that thus far we have spent about $597,000 on the project. Again, that was back several years ago. The remaining contracts, which again don't include a drywall contract, total about $527,000. And the remaining cash in the special assessment fund for the ELSS project is about $549,000. So we have a tiny bit of extra cash should there be change orders or things discovered, but we do not have any extra cash to cover drywall.
Fifth, third.
Yeah, that includes. Yeah. Yep.
What's.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Both bank accounts. Yep. So all of that said, this project again has started again in October or November. It just started up again
4 weeks ago.
4 weeks ago. Okay. So, and their plan is to have the project completely finished by the end of February. Therefore, we need to get a new drywall contractor in place, because that will, I'm assuming, be the last thing, plugging all the holes. So we received a number of bids. I initially thought that we had already contracted with, let's say, the lowest bid, and that is what these numbers are based on. That lowest bid was 91,000 with a 20% contingency. That was 109,000. We have since discovered that that person does not actually have a license, and that bid is no longer viable. The current other three bids that we have range from 136,900 to 267,575. That was the Royal, really high one. So the currently proposed dollar amount of 109,000, I think, is honestly not going to be adequate. I think we're still waiting on one more bid, but so far our lowest is 137. If we do a 20% contingency, which again, we could consider drywall less risky, consider lowering that, it'd be 164,000.
I have a question.
Yes.
So you said that we have about $20,000 left in the ELSS project budget. Can we apply that 20,000 towards the drywall? Or count it as our contingency, either one?
That's a better way to go.
And then
again, the other contract would have a change order, hopefully not, but
I hope not. And then at that point, still go with the lowest cost drywall proposal that we have.
sure. So the 136.
I guess that would be that one.
What company was that?
That was
Hatchmaster.
Hatchmaster.
I seen like Ally here. I was going through Ally's.
Yeah, Ally was
Yeah.
182,000.
And they're gonna farm it out, they're gonna sub it out, because they said if you sub it out, vendor agreement, vendor assigns task, performs duty, assigns all of
That's
that.
probably why they're 182,000.
So basically, if they,
Trying to get their cut.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we don't want that,
Okay.
because
All right.
So the decisions we have are what number we want to go with, how much contingency, if any, we want to go with.
Okay. Are we ready to open it for
Yes.
questions? Okay, questions about the drywall. Drywall questions. Anyone? Yes.
Come on down if you do.
Yeah, Petrowski, 503 again. We had $70,000 in the special assessment for that. Yeah, now you're saying, well, it was 109, my brain's going to the 109. So the 109, we had 70,000, all you really need is another 30-some, about $39,000.
The other piece-
$109,000.
The other piece of this is that at the time of the assessment, and I don't know why, we did not assess anything for the SLS contract, which I believe they're engineers.
Yep.
Okay, engineers. That is $98,000 for this project that was never assessed. So that is essentially where the 70,000 drywall budget went. There was also a change in vendor from Siemens to Apogee. The new contract was an additional 40,000. So basically, we had about 138,000 of unassessed dollars. And then we have the 70,000 excess for drywall.
Okay, we had $96,000 in that for lost revenue for people who don't pay their assessment. Can you tell me how much the actual lost revenue is? $96,000 was less than.
I believe it is less than that of people who have not paid that assessment.
So you have those funds that could be applied.
No.
Why not?
So I think that was for,
Yeah.
so that's,
$70,000 in it for ground prep and repairs.
so that allowance was for the entire $3.5 million, all of the projects, including ELSS, garage, other expenses. That's, I think, where that lost revenue was. It was nothing specific to ELSS.
Okay,
Again.
that's correct, because the whole amount was for everything. All the expenses were taken out of one account. But, you know, $70,000 for ground repairs. I don't think we did any ground, prep. We didn't have as much lost funds from owners not paying their bills.
Can I ask you a question? I know that you were the treasurer at that time, so you probably have a very detailed understanding of what was spent. And yeah, so is that something that you could produce a report for?
No, I've been working too much on numbers. I'm not doing any more yet. I'm just saying that evidently we are way behind as far as what we spent, way over on what we spent. But there's some things in here that possibly you could have used.
Well, I think that there were a number of change orders on all of these projects. Again,
The majority. Can you tell me, Jenny, one of the questions I asked from the email today, what was the final bill from Belcourt?
171,000 and some other dollars and
Yeah, it
change.
was 171,000. Okay,
That's the
that just
final bill.
clarifies
Yeah.
some other questions that I had.
Yeah, so when I first came in and had all of this, like 3.2 million of all these project costs were spent in 2022, 2023. In 2024, 2025, it's only been about 350,000 that we've spent. So I have not gone back to tie out, audit every single cent that happened years ago.
March 24th, I had exact figures and I had every invoice on a spreadsheet.
I still have that invoice,
And
but it
so
does
you-
not match up the cash segregated by project and by vendor. It's all in the same bucket.
Don't we, I mean, I don't know.
I-
But
I-
don't we have everything at the same, I mean, everything should be separate, correct, for each fund type deal?
I'll get to that.
I'd like-
She's right, in 7,000, remember, we did not have the ground repair, so we already gave them that money, and then they can do the ground, where's that coming from?
No, I don't think we gave anybody any money. I'd like to redirect us back to the drywall though, because we're trying to get through the topic that we're talking about tonight. So, what?
I said, oh, that's right.
Oh, okay, so, I just want to point out that you're talking about, like you said, a $3 and some million assessment that was completely eaten up prior to Jenny starting as the treasurer. And all she's had to do is pay the ELSS bills and figure out where the drywall money is coming from. So all the dollars are there in the financial reports. If you want to go back and look at it, I know I have a spreadsheet. Yes.
We got another bid for the drywall?
Yes, we have 4 bids for the drywall.
I know the one is a real wash off, this one didn't work, so I'm told maybe to guess, isn't it just scratching those posts?
I said, I'm only scratching the
So
posts.
maybe we should get another.
Well, we've got 4 bids so far, at least 4 bids,
Yeah,
right?
I'm waiting on one more.
Two didn't really work.
No,
so-
one didn't work because it doesn't have.
Right, the other one was
But we
way
have-
off the roof. He was not serious about doing the work. He was
Yeah.
trying to
Like,
rip
so
them off. So I'm saying maybe.
We have
you
two
gotta-
that they're considering. I'm trying to get a third.
Yeah, try hard. I appreciate that. I'm retired, folks.
You should join the board.
No, thank you.
Anyway, so right now the lowest bid that we have is $130-some-thousand. Does anybody else have questions about the drywall? Why you need the drywall, how much it costs, what it's gonna happen?
Well, I have one question.
Yes,
Not-
ma'am.
not- It is related to the drywall. And so, because I don't even know what the ELS stands for, I know that it's a sprinkler. right?
Emergency Life Safety System.
Thank you,
Yes.
thank you. I knew that was. So I just want to get this clear. So that drywall is patching up the holes that are there, but don't they still have to put the sprinklers in there, right?
They're doing that over the next 2 months. Yeah.
Okay, good. So that's not on here. That was paid for before, right? As
Yeah.
far as our
That's a
assessment.
sprinkler.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sprinkler.
yeah,
Okay.
that's a different project. Thank God.
Okay, that's hard.
Other drywall questions? All right,
Oh, Francisco, just a minute. He's got a question.
yes.
Let's see, okay.
Okay, so
Fran-
Tammy
so this-
Mateo
from
from
Mateo.
Option 10.
Okay.
You had said that you reallocated 2022 drywall portion of the assessment that we had back in 2022 for the SLS engineer contract. is the board allowed to reallocate money specifically collected for a specific drywall thing and then turn around and reassess us again for drywall? Without anyone knowing or anyone being told, or I was under the assumption that if a special assessment is collected for a certain item, that it has to be used for that item. Do we have any comment on that?
I think in this case, it was all lumped under the ELSS project. And that the breakouts were used for estimating, but I could be wrong. I'm willing to admit that.
I'm just going by what the treasurer just told us, that she was reallocated, and it's.
Yeah,
Are you allowed to do that? Because from what I understand from Florida statute and that kind of stuff that I've looked into, if you specifically collect money for a certain assessment, you can't say, oh, you know what, we're short on this one, let's move it there, and then we'll worry about that later. And none of the homeowners were aware of this. You know, we didn't know that. We didn't know later you were going to come back and say, oh, you know what, we had to spend that money, but we're going to assess you again for drywall. And I'm not saying that it doesn't need to be done. I'm just saying, are we really allocating funds the proper way and legally?
That's a good question. I will say, I'm pretty sure that the funds that were assessed for ELSS, actually, I can say this with certainty because I've tracked down every single check. The funds that were assessed for ELSS are only being spent on ELSS. You are quite correct. We couldn't take those funds and go pay for the school, for example, or pay for the carpet in the hallway or some other completely different project. But expenses related to the ELSS project are fair game, I guess is the, I don't know, better way to explain it. So the drywall was considered part of the ELSS project, and because those two additional costs came up and there wasn't enough contingency funding to be spent, some of the drywall, tell me if I'm misspeaking, by the way. I don't mean to take your spot here.
And we should have an audit, right? We had an audit, right?
We did have an audit.
So the audit should have verified everything was correct, right? Or if they don't go
We
that
have
deep.
a December 31st, 2024 independent audit.
Furthermore, these reassessments that happened, I believe happened in 2020. When did the project start? 2022 or 2023. So it's not something that's happened in the last couple of years, but that doesn't mean that your questions aren't valid. So did I answer your question?
Sort of, yes.
Oh,
No, the question is, for example, you assess everyone, I'm going to see example, $1,000 to paint the hallway. Fine. Everybody gives the money. The hallway doesn't get paint. And then 6 months later, hey, we need money to paint the hallway. Wait a minute, we already paid for that. No, we use that money to fix the bathroom. Oh, wait a minute, how that works?
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't, if you assess for painting hallways, you use the money to paint the hallways. In this case, the assessment was free. And again, I'm speaking on an assessment that happened, I think, in 2022. But you assess for the ELSS project, you pay the money on the ELSS project. It doesn't go off and pay for hallway carpeting or whatever, bathroom repair. Did I answer your question?
Let me say yes.
Okay, please. All right, thank you. Any other questions on what we're talking about, drywall? Drywall questions. All right.
I would just say, I mean, I'm very unhappy about this, but the wording is we had a massive project, the ELSS, and we have an overrun of cost. Everything on the ELSS, and it's really hard looking through it, as you said.
Yeah.
I wasn't around on the board. I've tried to look through. It's badly worded. It's not drywall. It's an overrun of costs on the ELSS. I've not found any funds not spent on the ELSS.
Yeah.
So even though I don't like it, I can't say funds have gone in the wrong direction.
Right.
And I think anybody else should look through those funds.
And is there any way, like I say, to in each project have its separate account? And I don't understand. I mean,
no, each assessment has its own account.
Okay, or each
Assessment.
assessment have each count.
Yeah.
And you should have that. I mean, old school, I'm not computer, but old school, you'd have a filing cabinet with all the bills and receipts and
We have
everything.
an electronic file cabinet, yeah.
So anyway, so if all that's there, that would make it a lot easier for us.
We have it all, and that's what these numbers
It is.
are.
I will say as an ex-treasurer, and I spoke to Jenny earlier today, I remember several assessments I was involved with. I never had any that overlapped. That is one of the great problems of this,
Mhm.
that they've overlapped.
right.
But this ELSS, unpalatable, very
Unpalatable, yeah, that's a good
well,
way to put it.
unpleasant, but it's still all ELSS.
All right.
I'm tired of
Let's,
2 years with no ceilings.
we're moving, I know, thank you, Bob, I am right behind
On the
you.
fourth floor or third floor, fourth floor, no ceilings or.
We have no
whole
ceiling.
For.
All right, moving on, right?
Yep.
So we're gonna have to come back to that and figure out a dollar amount if we're gonna include it in the assessment. All right. Next, pool and barbecue restoration.
All right, pool and barbecue restoration. We were hoping to have actual bids and better support for the numbers. Unfortunately, our first contractor did not work out. So we have a bunch of estimates. The one thing on this list of costs that is supported by recent bids is the refinishing of the pool and spa, about $100,000. So going through all the line items, the first one, I kind of lumped in project design, permit engineering. Looking at other projects, it looks like a large project, I don't know exactly how they come up with fees, in the past has been about $15,000 to $17,000 for a permit. So that's the amount for permits. The current design contract is $6,400. And unknown engineering costs, I put in about $20,000 to $23,000. So that gave us a total of $43,000 for that piece of cost, total estimate. The barbecue area, in speaking to Terra Nova, if we wanted to do some things like maybe even include a deck so it's up a little higher so people aren't tripping over tree roots, having like a shaded area type thing, they said between 60 to 80,000. So we put in 75,000 for the barbecue area. Pool pavers, concrete leveling. This will be the biggest expense. We looked at it a couple different ways. Bob did a bunch of research online, coming up with, I think based on a dollar amount per square foot, came up with 80,000 for resurfacing, and then actual paver tile costs and installation, 180 to 250,000. So his estimate was a total of 260,000 to 330,000. The other way we looked at it was looking at the pavers and installation for the promenade deck. That came out to $16.75 a square foot. Added to that, per Terra Nova, they thought it would be approximately $35,000 to remove the old concrete and $100,000 to pour new concrete. That total estimate comes to about $302,500. So we have a range of 260 to 330. We had put in 350. Certainly would be reasonable to bring that number down to 330 or 300 if we wanted to, but again, that's how we estimate.
And we could save like maybe if we decide just to do a top coat over it, like the sidewalks are out here, it'd be cheap, probably $100,000 cheaper on that. But I was just trying to get numbers because some people were saying, oh, we got to put tile back on. So there could be a little bit of difference on that. But the biggest thing would be the engineering, because my thought on all this is if we don't put tile on or nothing over top, and if we get if we get a hurricane within 50 miles each way from us, we'll know what the damage or how our seawall is doing and how the perimeter around the pool is doing. So I'm not really for the tile or whatever, but we could save a little bit of money that way. If that's, but yeah, it's better to be having some of the stuff in low because if they come out next week and say, or.
Yeah.
The big issue is we don't have a spec, we don't have bids, we have nothing firm. That's our biggest problem.
Can we let Jenny go through the
Yes.
estimate and then we can plan for?
Yeah. I'm sure people don't
Yeah.
really care about all the estimates, but anyway. So anyway, we talked about refinishing pool spa, 100,000 based on several bids. Pool bathrooms, Bob again did some research for us, came up with about 60,000. There was some concern about the city requiring us to get them up to code for handicap access and whatnot. So we added in some additional for that into the estimate.
Which we'd like to avoid.
Which we would like to avoid.
Yeah.
And I imagine if we just do more of a facelift.
Yes.
Anyway, so that's another number that we could reduce if we're gonna do an assessment at this time. Pool equipment, backpack, that's right from the reserve study, 25.8 is that estimate. And then we just threw in an estimate of 100 grand for other features. Again, these are all unknown. So things like electric, greenery, new furniture, possibly a better color, higher, more person-proof fence. So that number is in there. And again, I did my 20% contingency because I don't trust any project not to go over cost. So that total is a big number, about 939,000. We will be collecting amounts and reserves for some of these elements. So that's 289,000. So the assessment amount came out as 649,000. So again, these are all estimates. The numbers can be brought down if we say we want to assess for a total amount of X, we can do it that way. And what we're also trying to balance here is, again, we obviously had a misstep with our first designer that wasted some time. I have heard a great desire to get this done as soon as possible. To get this done as soon as possible, we have a timeline. If we want this cash, we got to get going. So if we choose to not assess for this now, then and wait for actual bids and actual costs and actual specs, totally reasonable. It's just going to add time, right? It'll be another 3 to 6 months to like then collect the cash, do a third assessment in 12 months, collect the cash, get the work done. So again, it's just balancing when we want to get this done. Do we want to try to estimate high so that we don't have an ELSS situation where we have to come back and say we had cost overruns? Those are the issues out there and there are options.
I mean, we don't know if we have to take that fence up. If we got to take the fence around the pool up for some reason, it's not per code. So guess what? We had to put all new fencing around the promenade deck because the spacing was 5 inches, but we got to go 4 inches because you can't have a kid through. So there's a lot of things that we don't know that's could bite us, and we're hopefully that everybody will be on the same page and not have to do this.
Yeah.
And then also like once, I mean, I'm not blaming nobody, whatever, but the last time they put pavers on top of around the pool, right? Well, we couldn't see if there's any cracks or what was going on with that pool for 10 years, 15 years, whenever they did it. It's nothing against the people who did it. But what they did is they glued all the pavers, every paver around the edge of the pool, they glued down. So all of a sudden there was sand and then concrete. So when it rained, we got all this rain all the time. The hurricanes come in. There's no way for that water to run off. It went down in the cracks. And then that caused damage to our pool, or not to the pool, but the surrounding underneath the pool. We spent 20 grand for that. So there's a lot of things we got to look at. Even like the seawall, we got to do, I believe, in 3 years or less. around the pool area. Or four.
We have to inspect it in 3 more years. and
Okay, exactly.
place
But
for it.
anyway, we gotta make sure that everything's gonna fit together to make sure that we don't get caught later down with more expenses. So that's my biggest concern. I know the home sellers probably don't like the assessment, but yet if you can fix this up and make it look nice, I think it would be a great thing for the sellers also, because it's a pro.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's a business for me. And that's what I kind of look at this condo or a home, every home I've had is a business.
Well, I think that's a great point. I think the board's duty is also to plan for longevity, the
Yeah,
future
business.
of this building,
Financial gain
Yeah.
for all this.
not,
Just-
you know, I get it. If someone's trying to sell, wants to do
But yet
it.
you want to fix that one
Get
thing,
out of here.
because you still gotta pay the assessment, because if you know about the assessment, you have to disclose that, I believe, in your contract. So the owners are still liable for the assessment.
I'd like to give the owners a chance to
But I
weigh in
just,
on
I
this.
just thought we had to talk, because we haven't.
Yeah, the board's
We got debate.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I did, because I started to
We
think
gotta
it's our
debate.
biggest and most important asset.
Mhm.
Amenity, I'm sorry. The problem is we are talking vagaries in a huge number
Mhm.
and we can't do anything else.
Yeah.
So if we, on one side, it's perfectly reasonable to say, we can't do anything because we don't have a spec and we don't have bids.
Mhm.
So we can't give you a firm figure, the owners. But at the same time, if we don't do anything, as Jenny said, we have to add 3 to 6 months to the time frame when we do have those. So there are 3 options to me. One is say, no, we know we really need to do something. Let's go for the big number on top of everything else, which is hideously painful. We can say, we don't have it. Do you accept that you're going to get the spec and add 6 months to when you're going to get the final thing? Or do we say a middle ground? We know this is not everything, but we can do something and have something in the middle, which doesn't have firm numbers behind it, but says we can at least start and then come back to do the final element.
Okay.
But,
Can I-
but with the sellers, but.
I'm going to be one of those.
Well, I'm just saying though, do you have to tell the owners? there's
Yes.
gonna be another
Yes.
company?
Yes. No, in any estoppels from now on, we have to, because it is legally required to assess them.
So I just want to say one quick thing, and then I want to open it up to questions, and that is that the reason that the pool is in this assessment without proposals is because I had heard from a couple of people that this is a gross generality here, but members prefer, like all members prefer one assessment as opposed to like going back, like here's another assessment, here's another assessment, here's a smaller assessment. So I was operating under the idea that owners would prefer one large assessment, even though we didn't have the proposals to back up the pool number. I've heard since then from a lot of people, no, I much prefer to wait. So what I really need to get a sense of is, what do owners prefer? Because we don't have numbers to back up the pool assessment numbers. We have estimates. We've spoken to, I think, 4 or 5 architects and designers, and they all gave us kind of an off-the-cuff number. So we have a general idea of what the project may cost, but we don't have specifics. So now I'd like to open it up and ask where you stand and what you think. And I saw Warner, yes.
Yeah. Warner Jackson, 702.
All right.
Right. Priorities. We have to deal in priorities. Fixing up the pool is a great idea. It's nice, but it's not the priority we have to look at. Safety is the first priority. And to throw in a $600,000 beautification, I don't think that makes sense right now. You know, you could bring the number down. You could do concrete refinishing and do it a third of the cost. I've looked around at some of the other pools and some of the other condos. They don't have cabanas. They don't have all this extravagant stuff. We can plan out things. You don't have to do it in one great big bite. We could be reasonable and we could do it in small bites. I am not for other assessments. We've had 3 years of assessments. That's enough. And to come back in 6 months and say, here's another assessment, doesn't make sense. My unit will be up for sale. I've been here 25 years. I enjoy it. But right now, what we're doing with these assessments don't make sense. The $36,000 assessment we had 2 years ago for the ELS, I understand that. The hurricane assessment for lights, we still have no lights. Projects aren't getting done. And we're taking on an additional assessment and then talking about another assessment. I don't see progress. I think we can do minor things to that pool and stay away from $600,000 and plan additional years out, next year, year out. But if you come back with another assessment, I'm done with it. That's what I got to say.
Got it. Thank you. I'd like to respond before Billy, you ask your question. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question.
Can you just let me respond to him?
Yeah.
And I said, let me respond.
Yeah.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for your input. I think that's really valuable for us to hear. I do want to make sure that you understand that the $600,000 is not all beautification. More than half of that is for the restoration of the pool deck. And the problem is that we don't really know, engineering wise, what the pool deck requires to be safe. I agree with you that safety is a very high priority and we need to do on the pool deck what is necessary to make sure that the pool deck is safe. Not just like tripping type safety, but actually like cracking and losing the foundation. So that's going to be the largest part of that assessment, and we don't have proposals or designs to back it up yet. So I just wanted to give that information.
I understand that, totally, I understand it. But I do know that we can resurface that deck at a much cheaper rate than putting pavers and tearing up concrete, re-put down concrete, just doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, the tearing up concrete would be if there are engineering or structural problems with the deck, and that's what we need to find out. That's all. I agree. It's a stupid thing to do for aesthetics. Hildy.
Question.
I have several questions.
Francisco, I'll let you go next.
Hildy Matthias, 605. Number one, when April was here, she ordered new furniture.
Yep.
It turned out it rusted.
Yep.
We were able to get our money back and we could keep it. Where's the money for that furniture? Why do we have to pay for furniture again? Evidently, she got, the money was returned by that company.
Yep.
So where's that money?
So she never had a budget to buy furnishings. There was no approved budget. The board didn't approve her. As far as I know, she literally just went and took $10,000 out of our operating expenses that should be used for paying bills and bought furnishings.
So that's why we got brown chairs and blue umbrellas.
Yes, exactly.
And rusty.
Yeah, so
yes,
the money came back and it went back into the operating fund where it belonged. And we still have the brown chairs, yes.
And then the other question is, I thought we had this company come in and fill in all the gaps underneath to make the pool deck safe.
Yes.
So why is that not then enough for them to just come in and repair it? And I think I agree with Bob. My friend is over at Crescent Beach, and they have that cement, decorative cement, and it looks very, very nice. And the thing, if you put pavers on, as Bob says, there are cracks happening underneath, and you can't see them. They just get bigger and bigger, and the bill gets higher and higher. So I think that there's something to be said for the decorative cement. The other thing is, why can't we just separate it, take care of the pool first, and then the barbecue area?
Well, that you'd have to ask some barbecue people. Thank you, though.
Okay, let's let Francisco and Tammy go.
Yes.
Thank you. Easy question. I think the message has, I would imagine, resonate with everyone before we embark in more assessment. We don't have any bids for all this work around the swimming pool, the pavers, concrete, whatever we're talking about. We have 3 bids from 3 different companies who would be doing the job. So you're asking us to give you money for another assessment, but we don't know who is going to do it and how much it's going to be. So we're just basing the numbers. So this is not palatable. It's a very difficult pill to swallow. We have delays in the different projects that have not been completed. For example, the light. And then we want more money for the swimming pool, but we don't have anybody giving us any bids. Who is going to do the job? We talked about before 3 different companies to give us 3 bids to see which one is the best for us. That's what I'm asking. So you want money, but you don't have any actual company who will be doing that project.
You're right. I think that's what we said, that we do not have any proposals or bids for this at this point. It's an estimate based on various meetings with, designers and architects, but no proposals at this point.
So maybe we should put that on hold until we have a proposal.
That's an option.
Whoever's going to be doing the job.
And I know you said that you made a list of all problematic areas and how to address them and according to necessity. I cannot, for all of the stuff that is needed in our building, I highly doubt that a beautification, decking, pergolas, redoing bathrooms, and all of this stuff, landscaping and new furniture and all of that is high on that list of problematic areas. And if anybody in this room thinks that someone is going to come and buy a unit in our building because we have a beautiful pool, the whole rest of the building looks like hell and needs all of this work and has all these special assessments coming up probably with the work that needs to be done, you're mistaken. That's not going to happen. I mean, we have a lot of major issues that have not been taken care of yet. And no one is saying we don't want the pool done. We would like it pre-hurricane. Like, let's put some pavers down. Let's make it so we can use the pool again. We didn't have brand new bathrooms before the hurricane. We didn't have pergolas. We didn't have this. We didn't have that. This is all extra wish list that people want. And we're not all saying that we don't want it, but we're trying to live within our means of our budget. And we have other things that really need to be addressed first.
I'd like to say something first. I have some good news for you. You mentioned that there were other special assessments coming. And what I can tell you is that based on the financial planning that we did last year and this year, I'm pretty sure that aside from highly unexpected things like the roof blows off, everything has been addressed in our reserve study. And we are setting aside funds so that we should be able to pay for things when they come due. So that's the good news. And that is really good news. But yes, we are sitting here with an undone pool. I don't know about the bathrooms. I can't say anything about that. They're disgusting.
I mean, like I lived here for 5 years. And since I moved here 5 years ago, it's been under construction basically pretty much the whole time. And it's kind of disappointing to come to a place every day and find it's disarray or dull carpet, whatever. But the thing is some of this is pre-existing. It should have been done 10, 20 years ago. And now it's all coming to us. Right. I really feel sorry for the owners that bought in the last year or two, because they paid double of what all other units paid or triple. And that's who should be really upset. And the people that want to sell their place, I hate to say, if we can get this place looking outside a little bit better, I think it would be a great thing for the owners to do, to have. And I don't know why. We got to do something. We got to start making this place look nice. I've been to Frank's place. He just moved out of here and moved down the place south. It's beautiful.
Oh.
And I tell you what, it don't have both views, but it's still got one view. And it's a beautiful place. They maintain it. The shrubbery's great. The pool looks nice. They got a nice barbecue. They got a gym. And I'm just saying that that should have this place one nice.
The point that I'm trying to make, yes, I agree 1,000%. You want a beautiful pool, we all want that, but there is a price to it, and we need to do it the proper way. Who is the company who is going to be doing that? What do they propose? How much is it going to be? I don't want to be basing on an estimate. I think it may be this, it may be that. We need to do it the right way, like we said. Get a few companies to bid for the job and see what it is, and then we'll decide whether to proceed with it or not.
That's what I actually said when I was mentioning about we don't have any of these. And please remember, I'm only looking at replacing the hurricane damage because I didn't vote for anything additional, but we have to replace it. That's requiring funds. Do we do it now, or will it be another assessment? Because it's hurricane damage, it has to be assessed. It's a difficult decision. So do we do something on there now of whatever level, or do we say we'll come back once everything is firm and we have exact bids?
Yeah.
Nothing to do with beautification.
All right, I have a question from Mr. Brewster.
Scott Brewster, 303. I believe the 16,000 is a really big hit for us. Warner, I agree. But look, we passed the buck for years and years here, and the piper needs to be paid. And this 16,000, it is a lot of money, but I think it's been padded to a degree that is going to be beneficial for us. It gives us flexibility to move quickly on the projects we want to do. And if for some reason the assessment is too high, we can use a credit for an assessment in the future, meaning we won't have to be assessed again for whatever we want to do, like the hallways, like the lobby. People want things done right now, but if we wait and wait and wait and pass the buck, then it's going to be 6 months, another year. And it's time that we just pony up and do what we have to do. This money's not going to be wasted. I think it's smart for them to put a 20% contingency. What if we come $400,000 less on the pool? That goes to, we put that into a credit. You don't get assessed again, Warner. Look, let's bite the bullet, do what we have to do. And that gives us the speed, the maneuverability, the adaptability to do it right. We'll get the bids. We're not going to be paying anything without 3 bids. Everything gets 3 bids by law. So look, let's not do a half-assed job just to patch. If you want security, we can do security. But we need to figure out what we're doing. And when we do a project, let us do it the right way. I'm not talking Taj Mahal, but we have to make it so it's somewhat hurricane and resilient from everything that we're going to be facing with hurricanes and water intrusion. And this pool, the grill, and Terra Nova is doing the whole property, by the way, not just those 2 areas. They're considering everything, including lights, the promenade deck, everything. So we're going to get bang for our buck. We're going to have a uniform design. And whoever does the construction, we're going to have a good property that will last 20, 30, 40 years. Just putting crappy pavers on the pool might be getting it back to its old self, but were we happy with its old self? I wasn't. Let's bite the bullet, get the 16,000 in, and the real issue is that he's probably not going to have another assessment for the foreseeable future. But if we piecemeal it and haggle and keep going, we're going to have another assessment, because we can get credits for this overlay. The 20, 30, 40, 20% more, that can go back into our kitty. And it's just going to save us time and money. Let's do it right. We passed the buck. And I'm sorry for people that came and did this, but for the last 15 years, no offense to anybody in this room, but this has been mismanaged. Everyone's not looking. It's been reactive. We're proactive now. Let's do it right. We have the money. We have the will. We have a board that's being responsive. Let's just get it done and get it done right. And we won't spend money until we get the bid, so it's gonna be responsible.
Agree.
You.
I agree with that 100%.
You know,
Why not, hold on, we're taking questions from the audience. I'm sorry, did you want a response to that? All right, why don't you go ahead?
we're here because we're doing things on a knee-jerk reaction.
Mhm.
I agree, we should get things done, but let's plan forward and budget forward instead of having assessments.
Mhm.
We should be building in the budget money and reserves to do these things. Instead of having the knee-jerk reaction, sitting here collecting assessments. Yes, let's do it right. But this is a big hit. There's 3 assessments, 3 years.
Yep.
You know, and there's no guarantee that we'll have another one. My thing is, let's do it right. Let's plan forward for improvements. Let's plan forward so that you don't see it. Because on top of these assessments, we also have an increase in our HOA fees, which I don't understand.
Yeah. I'm sorry, give us long-term security on the things that you're interested in. I don't want to pay $200 more, but that's gonna be banked and banked and banked. And that banking is going to make sure, at least minimize to a great degree, that they're coming in with another assessment. It's smart, it's best practices to bank this money. We could get interest on it, and then we don't have to come back in 5 or 10 years and go, hey, can we have another 10 or 20,000?
Scott, I'm gonna take questions.
No,
from you.
yeah.
That's okay, I'm gonna take some questions from the other others. Yes, sir.
Well, I agree with Scott. As far as I'm a new owner, and as far as I'm concerned, these things that are happening now should have been taken care of 15 years ago, if not more. Water, I agree with you, it's a lot of money, but you're doing exactly what's been done for the last 20 years. Oh, let's wait, let's do this, let's plan better, let's plan. 6 months, a year goes by, 2 years goes by, guess what? Nothing gets done. Like he said, let's bite the bullet. It's gonna get done, one way or another, this is gonna get done. Let me finish, okay? It's going to get done. So by waiting until a bid comes in, I think they're doing the right thing. Let's get some money up front. Look, I built my own house. I've done projects, and I know how it works. Get some money up front. When the bids come in, they'll choose the right one, and at least we have something to start with. Yeah. If not in excess, okay? By you saying let's wait, I guarantee you that pool is not going to get done for at least another 2 years. If we're lucky, let me finish, okay? I wouldn't interrupt you when you were talking. So I don't understand this mentality of, oh, well, if the beautification is not priority, okay, the piping and the lining and things like that are a priority, but it's in the process. Yeah. So now why wait until, it doesn't make sense to wait until that piping gets completely done before we say, hey, listen, okay, now that that's done, let's work on this. It should be a total package. Move forward, do the right thing. Look, I came here because of not only because I like the building, the views are wonderful, and I like the aesthetics of the building as well. Now, after I'm here a little over 2 years, when I come here, I look at that pool area. Yes, it's not the most important thing, but to me it is. I want to be able to sit down and see a beautiful product, see nice flowers, see a beautiful palm tree, see everything painted, nice, and also, I want to see the construction done the right way also, because I plan, if that's the case, if I see all this being done, I'm going to be here for at least 40 years. My kids are going to enjoy this. But the mentality of, oh, let's wait and see, it's wrong. It's 100% wrong. That's just my opinion.
Now, let me be clear.
Thank you.
Let me be clear. Okay? I'm not telling you to wait on projects. I'm telling you to plan projects. I just got through with a $16 million building in Wisconsin. All right, I've managed my own real estate projects for the last 30 years. And I didn't put things off, but I knew what to do. I knew what I wanted to do, and I planned it. I'm not saying put off the pool, but I'm saying plan. Put it in your budget.
But they are planning.
It's a knee-jerk reaction.
How is it anything? It's been over a year. How is this a knee-jerk reaction?
If you put things in your budget,
Which, that's what they're asking.
I think we need to stop this now because there is what you've got to remember. It's the pool work is repair from a hurricane.
Exactly.
And it has to be assessed. So if we get a hurricane next year and whatever gets broken, it has to be assessed because that's how the law says we have to do hurricanes. So it's got mixed up with all this beautification stuff. We have to repair what was damaged and it has to be done by an assessment. We either do it now or we do it in a few months' time. But you will potentially, when you see a hurricane come in, there will be 100% an assessment unless there's no damage.
All right, any other questions or comments?
Yeah,
Right, whoa, let's start over here, Kathy.
Okay, I've got some words I put down on paper because my brain goes faster than my mouth a lot of times. I'm gonna skip the first part of it and go to it later. As far as the upcoming assessment, water intrusion and balcony repairs should be fairly transparent because we supposedly have contracts. With regard to the pool and the barbecue area, the pool deck has to get done. Has it been, but then before all this discussion, has it been decided whether we pour concrete, just cover the surface? Do we have to dig up anything? Do we have any answer on that? Okay, yeah, that's, as far as anything else, the pool and the barbecue area, we need to know what's included. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, and I don't, but some of the items may be material alterations. If so, they will require a vote of the membership. So anything that's, okay, items such as changing carpeting to tile, changing the color or material on walls, removing mirrors, etc., have been designated as material alterations in the past. I've asked AI questions, I don't like AI, regarding what some of the items I believe are being thought about, like adding a pergola, installing cement or pavers where there were none previously, landscaping where there was none. And it tells me that every one of those are material alterations. The lights in the parking lot wouldn't be because they were damaged in the hurricanes. And since we can't get the same exact lights, thank goodness, they can be replaced with something else. I think we need to determine what we're going to do for the deck at the pool and start from there. Since we don't have any firm numbers yet, I don't see how we can be assessed for this until we do. I'm sorry, folks, that want everything right now, but I think you've got to make some sense out of this. I'm not against having an assessment for the items for which we have actual bids and know the cost. I think we need to get going with the pool deck, but not until we have actual bids. Anything beyond the pool deck needs to be itemized with cost, and it must be determined whether or not they are material alterations and need a vote. Anything past the pool deck is probably going to need a vote.
What?
The
pool deck, yes.
Even the lights in the bathrooms? And the tile? In the bathrooms?
I wasn't really talking about the bathrooms. I'm talking about the pool decks, landscaping, park.
See, and I know that like the pool deck, we looked, I believe I talked to a few people.
I think
and that
would be called years maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
or safety.
Yes, safety.
the deck, the pavers on the deck were really not legal. I guess there's something into the notes that.
Bob, can we just,
Go ahead.
we've heard what you say.
Okay, I have one further item to talk about, which was really the first thing on my agenda. I've been corresponding with Jenny regarding some questionable accounting with the special assessment funds. Seems not real transparent, but we're working on it. With a new assessment coming up, and seems that CA said they cannot do a separate operating account statement for Jenny for the upcoming assessment. The 2022 assessment and the hurricane assessment are already on one operating statement. I'd like to ask the board to require condominium associates to maintain a separate account for this upcoming assessment. Also, that account should show expenses itemized by what it's for: waste pipes, water intrusion, pool, and barbecue area separate. That way the owners can see specifically where their money's going. So I really would like to, the board to see if they can't talk condo associates into doing a separate assessment. The commingling of funds between the hurricane and the other assessment is very sketchy.
I heard about this today and I agree with you. And it's something we need to take up. We need to, because we've never had the situation before. We've had multiple assessments in place and we need to get separation. It's finding a way of doing it.
I didn't realize it until a couple months ago, and then I started going to the papers.
So
It's like, what the hell?
yeah, we're in agreement. We've got to find a way of getting those separations sorted, but that's a different question to whether we assess.
Okay, but the bigger assessment, the future assessment, I think they need to be separate.
Agreed.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Kathy. Who else had questions?
Frank.
Frank, okay, sorry.
Good evening. My name is Frank Carnaccio, and we're in 1001. My first question is really, when we got an assessment for the lights, I went back to my homeowner's insurance and they paid the entire assessment. Why are we not doing the same thing with the pool?
I can tell you, maybe I should have somebody else like Ron to tell you, our policy does not cover the damage that was in the pool. It's part of our deductible. Is that right?
No, it's because of the type.
To the pool in a hurricane situation is never covered.
So what's the difference between
wind
you
and
didn't
water?
cover the lights and we had to pay for it?
No, the insurance company paid for it. We can claim those. And that's why they were on your HO6, because we can claim those. But the deductible is so big, about 800,000. That's why they have the HO6 on all our policies to go through.
I still haven't heard the answer.
Okay,
Why can we not claim?
I can tell you the answer. There are two types of damage that happen during a hurricane. There's wind damage and there's water damage.
Okay.
The wind damage is covered by our insurance. Like this out here was all wind damage. Now, we didn't get money from our insurance because it was way below our deductible. But we could assess you and you could go back to your insurance company and get money. Water damage, nada.
Understood.
And that's why you had to come up with
It was
an estimate
actually-
for the lights.
Yes.
It was an estimate.
It was, wait a minute, it wasn't water damage, it was storm surge.
Sorry.
Storm surge,
Have another question.
which is under the flood policy.
We have $1,200.
It was water storm surge.
Okay, let me give you an opinion as a seller.
Okay.
When you come through this building and you see half of the ceilings are gone, it is not a good look.
Yeah.
I've lived here for close to 6 years. I look out into the pool. Never, other than maybe on the 4th of July, are there more than 4 people in the pool. My opinion is we are spending an awful lot of money for very little use. There has to be some return on investment. You're not, in my opinion, getting any return on investment for the people who use that pool and the people who are paying for it. That's a big no, in my opinion. And I agree with the gentleman in the rear. You don't appear with the pool to have a plan. You've got estimates.
Yeah.
I do not want to pay for somebody's brain thought. I want something I can look at. I can say yes, I can say no. I can say you're exceeding your authorities, and I want my opinions heard. Once you get the plan, come and talk to us. Don't talk to me if you don't have a plan. Because I got a plan also, and my plan is not to pay you. Until you convince me otherwise, that's my plan. Thank you.
Got it. Thank you. All right, Vera, did you have a question?
I have a question.
Or a comment?
Fair Chef 404. I think this is more for Kathleen. When we log into the website, we can see all the HOA fees that we have paid.
Maintenance fees, maintenance fees.
Okay, we don't see any place where we paid for special assessments in the past.
Oh, that's a separate account. So you have two accounts. You have a special assessment account and you have one for your regular assessment. So you, Gianna can help you with that. So you have to know how to toggle back and forth.
So it's
and I personally don't know how to tell you or show you, but she does, because she just had some training on
You
it.
mean it's a different website?
No,
it's on the website.
It's on the.
You just have to know how to go back and forth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
I just tried that as well. It shows the one we just did, but it doesn't show the large two assessments that we had broken down. It was almost 30,000. And so those aren't showing, because I needed to prove about the assessment. So
It's weird. I wonder if it drops off after a certain number of years.
Find out.
No.
I'll find out on that one.
You know, I'm with Lauren and all that. We need to do this, but we need to be, we cannot pad things. You know, I know I'm gonna have to pay for the assessment. Yes, I've got my unit up for sale and I'm worried I'm not gonna sell it. But I know I've already put it out there and paid for the assessments. But I wanna pay for things that are actually gonna get done and not something that's padded, not putting it aside. We've got $229 a month we're putting aside for other things. So don't overdo this. Just tell us what we need, pool, barbecue, the minimum that we need to do on those. Obviously the pipes and the water intrusions, I'm all for them. But these contingencies on the others and these ballpark estimates out there, no, we need facts. I'll pay for the facts.
Thank you, Deb.
I have a question that's a little bit not related. So the HOA fees are now quite a bit. And my question is, I was never notified what that money was gonna go into. I know it's gonna go into some reserves or whatever, but I'd rather pay whatever, I'd rather be, again, next year, be assessed for, let's say, $2,000 or $3,000, then my HOA go up. Because if I'm trying to sell, it's gonna be hard. $1,500, what is it, $1,460 or something that I'm paying now? It's a lot of money for somebody to come in and have to pay that monthly fee. I'd rather be assessed for that money and keep my 1,200 or even below that. Because let's face it, we're paying more, I'm paying more in HOA fees than my sister is paying at Water's Edge.
Wow.
It's by quite a lot, actually. So it's like, how do I justify that to somebody that might want to buy my unit? It's
all right. Thank you.
I just made a note. All association fees need to come down somehow.
I just made a note too.
Come down. We need to put away $200 a month or something in the future. I'd rather be assessed next year for that small amount.
Just so you know, we're required by law to put that dollar amount for the reserves on the maintenance fees. I guess we could do an assessment for it. I just so you know, I just made a note because we're going to continue to do surveys. I think a good survey question would be to find out what other people think about. Would they rather have a monthly fee or an assessment?
I thought that the governor of Florida had passed some law that was kind of deferring some of the costs for all this.
Not for us.
No?
No.
I must have misread something.
Yes, sir.
You know,
question?
Well, I'm here, I want to come.
Okay.
Because I'm here for
About school though, right?
Although you need to come up here though, because I don't think they can hear it. The people on the call can hear.
Very unsettling about people that are questioning spending more money oh, and then I hear only because they're looking to sell. So that's unfair to people that just bought and want to be here, you know? I think it's wrong to have that mentality, and you know, with all due respect, sir, because you don't use the pool doesn't mean it shouldn't get done. I mean, when my family comes over, they use the pool. So, you know, I don't understand the philosophy behind, you know, what you said.
Does your family pay for the pool?
Absolutely.
How?
I pay for the pool.
Yeah, and I pay for your family to use it.
Okay, so no one's telling you not to go use the pool.
Okay, gentlemen, this is a lot.
Because it's. Okay, cool.
Oh, can I ask you to take this offline? So we're gonna stick to the pool, so we can close down the meeting. I think Ally, you had a question.
No, I don't have a question.
Okay, then we're not talking to you, no. Sorry, just my name, right? What did you want to say?
No, I said, you know, whatever we do to this building is gonna add to the.
The people on the call cannot hear
I
you.
can't hear you, Ally.
Ali, come up. I'm saying whatever we do.
Right here, come on.
Yes, Ali, come. I thought you.
Please.
Oh, it's Kyle, it just went off.
$20. HOA's going up.
Yes.
Right there, right there.
I have a question from 404. But I have a sympathy for both sides. But to me, whatever we do to the building, if you have a nice pool, if you want to sell our property, we can get a better price for it. So to me, we need to compromise. I don't know how we can compromise, but I mean, what he's saying, some people may not use the pool, some people they use it, but it is for the building. You cannot separate it. You bought the building.
It's an investment.
Right. I understand, but you don't have a plan. They have a plan. What's the plan?
Just because we don't have hard bids doesn't mean we can't move forward, because we won't have hard bids, we'll have the funds.
I think Hillary had a question.
I just have a question. I remember when you made the presentation, you know, over there. And you said if we paid 1,200, we'd be able to keep the assessment at about 12,000, blah, blah, blah. And then there was a middle plan, and then it went up to 15,000, but it lowered.
Is this about the pool or is this like a bigger, more?
It's
general
it's
question?
about the funding. And
Okay.
you told me I couldn't ask last week. I'm asking
I know,
again. I don't care what you say. Anyway, so my question is, how did it get from 12,000 to 16? Because we are paying the 1,200. So what happened in between?
I would have to go back and look at what we had at that time.
I think that was, you were talking about 100%.
It was,
Well, and
that
I
was
would-
the first option, and it
Yeah,
was the cheapest assessment, but we had to pay 1,200, blah, blah, blah. a
Right,
month.
I got you.
And then there was a middle one, which reduced it somewhat, but it went up to 15, and the last one went up to like, 19,000.
Yep, I would have to research it to see what information we had at the time, because I don't know that we had all of these contracts in place at that time. So it was all estimates. Yeah, I don't know that the type contract was signed, so I can research that and get back to you what the difference is, but I don't know right this second.
All right, I'd like to close the questions unless there are any final questions about the pool so that the board can figure out what the hell we're doing. All right? Well, yes, sir.
Can the board make this part of this decision?
Larry, you need to come down here.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
People on the call that can't hear.
On the X.
On the X.
On
the X. Get your name and number.
And who are you? And what's your?
I'm the person.
That's what I.
Larry.
Face my camera.
Thing right there.
Okay, what? Anyway, can the board, as part of its decision-making process, to try to get everybody on the same page, maybe say, okay, we will have 6 weeks to get firm bids on the pool, so that we do have the pool and the grill area, so we know exactly what, maybe 2 or 3 ranges of bids and then come back. So we're we're addressing your concern, and B, we're addressing what you said. I mean, I'm all in favor of moving forward, but I think we can marry it so that we move forward quickly with financial figures to address what you're talking about, but do it quickly, not wait 6 months to do it, and make that part of what you decide in the board. Is that something that could be done? That's my question, and I will retire.
Thank you. That was brilliant. All right, if there are no more questions, I'd like to close the question and answer part. I do want to remind you that we have a members meeting on the 9th of December.
Yes.
And the members meeting is like wide open. It's assuming we have quorum and we have a meeting. It's like any topic is on the agenda. So bring all of your questions, comments, plans, complaints, what have you, dreams.
I just want to say one thing. I want to thank the board. It's a thankless job. You know, and I feel sorry it's taking so much flack.
I didn't expect that. That was very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, guys, this is where the rubber meets the road.
Yep. Vision 10.
Let's start with the waste pipes. Do we have any disagreements with funding the waste pipe at the $943,000?
No.
Ronnie? Okay.
Hit the gavel. They gotta be quiet.
Why?
No, we're on that.
Okay.
I think we should also mention we've got 20% reserve in that, and we basically say that whole thing goes through.
The lining waste pipes?
What? Yes.
Yes, I agree.
So we do round it to 944.
Yeah. Just make it.
All right.
Make it easy.
I don't know if it'd be easier if we voted one
Yeah.
thing at a time.
Yes. No, we need to discuss them individually.
Yeah, that's what I think.
You did, right?
We did discuss them individually,
Right.
but now we're just gonna decide.
So yes to line.
So then you.
I don't think we want to vote on every single one, but we do want to have discussion and come to an agreement.
Well, and I need to know a definitive number, because I think at the end of this, we have to have a number.
Yes.
Let's stick with 943, 918.50. That's what we got.
Yes.
Okay. Water intrusion repairs and immediate bathroom repairs. Were there any considerations about paying for that? I have none.
I mean, do we need 20%?
I think so.
My concern there is Bill Reinhardt goes it every time we freaking see him. And I even had.
I can't hear you.
Oh, hi. My concern with decreasing the contingency on the water intrusion balcony repairs is the engineer. I feel like engineers, you look sideways and they send you an extra bill. I even emailed Jeremiah back and forth this week about what is the deal? Are we super high maintenance? Are we super annoying? Are we asking you for way too many things? He very diplomatically said, Biller Reinhardt very much values its relationship with Pierce 100. Biller Reinhardt doesn't think you're high maintenance. So basically, I think we need to be very careful anytime we ask them for something,
Yeah.
like, is this within the scope of the contract? Because I think we're getting nickel and dimed.
So we need one person to deal with the.
Well, that should be, yes. And.
Okay, I just wanted to ask the question.
I feel like on every, like on the Valcourt, every project I have looked at, the engineering always grows beyond.
Okay.
Well, because that's the norm. Anytime you hit something.
Anything that's
Anytime,
really-
I don't know how it hears over there, but here in the States.
Excuse me, I can't have everybody else talking because this is a board meeting. It's background noise and it's very distracting. So if you either listen to the board or go out and
I'm just trying to look at the photo.
Are we recording?
Yes.
Okay, all right. It's not going to destroy the recording, will it?
No.
Okay. All right. So do we have a reason? Are you satisfied with the 20%?
I would like it to be reduced. I think
I think,
15
I
would
mean,
be.
yeah, I was gonna say, can we do 15?
well, I think Jenny's point is well taken, which is that the
I don't
engineering,
know.
I'd rather approve the 20. I'd rather approve the 20% and then make efforts to manage them to bring it down to 15. But I don't know that approving 15 and then finding out that it goes to 20 is this.
I just wanted to ask a question.
Yeah.
I heard,
That's fine. Ask away. All right. Can I get everyone's
yes,
approval for the
Approve.
306, 960, 320? Okay, good. I'm gonna skip the pool for now. What are we gonna do about the drywall? The lowest bid we have is 130.
900.
Are we gonna wait? Well, it's gonna be, how many hours is gonna be for the rest of Forest? Because they're only gonna start the drywall until they're done with all this.
So they said the entire project finished by the end of February.
Okay,
So,
we can wait until next month.
To do what?
well, so if we approve, we gotta look at the timeline. If we approve an assessment today, when do you think is the soonest it can be due? I mean, I would say the absolute soonest is February 1st.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's why I feel like we're really
Yeah.
backed up
Even
with
though
the
it's-
timeline.
Yeah, we don't want to keep that open all through.
I mean, we could just call it an industrial look.
Just take it all, just spray paint on one.
we've got to get it
Yeah.
done. I hate this one. It shouldn't be called drywall, but I still hate the whole
Should
thing.
we can rename it
What do you want to call
ELSS Overrun?
Yes.
Is that what you
Just
would
to
prefer?
seal, then I don't understand what this drywall understand.
It's drywall. Yeah.
But
Okay. And the lowest bid we have is 136. So should we be proving it for 130 or 137? 136.9.
Well, how much content, I would think, and again, I have zero experience, that drywall would be something we maybe don't need a full 20%.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way too.
The only thing is, I told them to plan on 2 repairs in the units. I don't know if that is correct.
I don't think that's correct
no,
because they told us that they were going to be very small holes. What did we just say?
Okay, they have to come over
The ceiling.
kitchen door
Mhm.
over there,
Mhm.
through, there's a
The opening, the soffit. Yeah.
and into the one bedroom.
Yeah.
And then at the front door,
Mm-hmm.
it's the same situation
Mm-hmm. Into the bedroom.
into the bedroom.
Yeah.
So if that's
So you've got at least 2.
But they have 2 soffits to go through. So there aren't going to be, yeah.
I think
Well, in my,
access, access, that's what all of the, have it with all.
the original plan was for them just to have like a little,
That's what I thought. too.
because I remember from the asbestos.
Yeah, well, because the sprinkler, each sprinkler is
Mhm.
gonna go over the doorway.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, but then you.
But
need-
the thing, for the
The string.
sound,
Mhm.
for the sounder, that's gotta go into the bedrooms.
But there was no mention of cutting open.
there was no roots, no. It's
Yeah.
just very straight through. Yeah.
Okay.
So what I hear you saying,
Except
I don't
that,
see how they're gonna do
except
that.
that we took
Unless
a
they put
tour,
wires along the trim.
I was with
Wire.
the,
my call.
yeah. And we did a tour of like,
A 2-bedroom.
the 2 bedroom
Different, okay.
on the 12th, on the 5th floor, the 12th floor, and the penthouse floor.
Mhm.
And something was said during that run through that according to it, and it doesn't matter what those units have done,
Mhm.
whether they converted
A door or ceiling or.
a ceiling, a door, or a
Okay.
room into, from like a living room to a whatever.
Okay.
If there is a closet
Okay.
in that space, it is a bedroom according to the Clearwater Fire Department.
The closet isn't the bedroom. The bedroom is the bedroom with the closet.
If there's a closet in this room, it's
Yes.
a bedroom.
Yeah.
And no matter what you.
That's how they determine the definition of a bedroom. It has to have a
Yeah.
closet.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's,
And we,
But how does this pertain to drywall repair?
because you're gonna have to have, if that particular room is deemed to be a bedroom, then you're gonna have to get a hole for the sounder in that room.
Okay, but that's ELS's cost to drive the sounder through. It still isn't gonna increase the amount of drywall substantially. You're still gonna have little holes.
Well, if they gotta go through the closet, I mean, the basis, if they're gonna take.
I have a suggestion. I have a suggestion. Let me get my suggestion out. The proposal that Kathleen got apparently has not only repairs of the hallway, but also 2x2 repairs in the owner's unit, which we
Yeah.
think is not
Required.
going to happen in many cases, maybe not all cases. I suggest that we consider that our 20% overage. We
Great.
just approved the 136.9
Great.
as is. And if we can come up with cheaper
Mm.
proposals between now and February for drywall repair, let's go with them.
Great.
So 136.9 for the drywall. Okay. Here's where the rubber hits the road. Let me go find. I want to find Jenny's great write-up on all the stuff that goes into the pool. Yeah, but I don't want to take your copy. Was it included in the, okay, I'm just gonna peek that. Okay, based on what we've heard tonight, this is my thinking, but I want to hear everyone else's thinking. I think that we should approve some portion of this, not the full thing, with the idea that we will come up with design and proposals as quickly as possible. But there are some things in there that we can arguably say are less of a priority than others, and I think that we should take them out for now. There's no reason why we can't plan on doing them over a 3-year plan or a 5-year plan, assuming the funds are available.
Like what?
Well, the first thing that comes to mind, I hate to say it, is the bathrooms. Let's get rid of the bathrooms, maybe go do some $20,000 spruce up. They're disgusting, and when
I mean, there's things I can even retile that stuff. Depends on what the city codes and rules are. And there's things that I would be glad to.
Oh, okay, you don't need to get rid of
We
it
can take,
entirely.
no, just decrease it substantially.
You think 20,000?
I don't know. I just picked a number out of my
What's that?
Oh, per
hair.
30.
The 30,000 for a bathroom.
30,000? Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the estimate Bob came up with, was
Okay.
30.
It should be written down somewhere.
The pool equipment housing,
What's that mean? What's that?
well, it's,
Wasn't that in the
It's in the reserve study,
It's in the
and that we
reserve
actually
study.
will have reserve.
we have
funds
money for it.
them on it.
Okay.
And the
right.
resurfacing of the pool, we have money for that.
Well, do we have money for receiving? Because I don't really know where the money comes from.
So for the
I mean, I just.
2026 or
in there. So the
2026.
things that for sure are
Mhm.
not in reserves are this,
Okay,
no barbecue.
okay.
This, there is some funds.
I think we should pay for this with funds.
Well, this obviously,
And
just the stuff for
yeah,
electric, whatever else.
okay. So, project design, the $43,000. We know that we're gonna have $6,000 in design fees, or 6,400, because we've already contracted with the guy. I think it's probably safe to put another, you said 15,000 to 17 for permits.
Yeah, I think for the garage and promenade, one was 15 and one was 17,000.
Okay, I'm sure that we're gonna need a permit, so we should include a permit. And I would hate to take money out for an engineer and find out that we needed it and we couldn't move forward because we didn't have an engineer.
Because that engineers are the most important thing for especially like
I know.
to the pool.
All right, I would tend to leave the entire engineering and design fee in there. The barbecue area, I'd say, let's cut it in half. I mean, I hate to do it because my husband will hate me if I do that, but I think it's really, I think that we can spiff things up for $40,000 and at least return it to where it was.
Yes, it can be.
And, yeah.
We estimated we could do something for 30.
Okay, well, then we want to do 35.
Fine.
They'll have to have a fundraiser if they want more. I'm gonna skip the pool pavers for now. The spa, I'm just thinking of the assessment. You said the pool spa part is already in the reserves.
The resurfacing?
Yeah, the resurfacing.
Yeah, that's part of that 289 now.
Okay, I'm just gonna ignore that for now. The bathrooms, are those in the reserves?
There is
$20.
$29,958 in reserves.
Okay, and you think you can do something for 30, so that's reserves for now. Pool equipment is reserves. Pool other features, I'd say let's cut that way down. I don't know what the other, electric, greenery, furnishings,
Fence,
fencing.
safety.
Yeah, we don't know if we're gonna need a fence.
Yeah, because that's gonna be a big expense.
Yeah, he said it was
How much?
$100,000 worth of fencing.
Just between the parking lot and the pool?
No.
Oh, no, he was talking about the perimeter. of the pool. Yeah.
Oh, I'm talking about between the parking lot and the pool, since we're so worried about people.
Railing.
So
because-
is there something that your grandfathered in?
We're
So-
grandfathered.
Because we had to do the permit deck. If you take it off, if you take.
No, that's still grandfathered.
No, it got replaced. It had to be replaced on the promenade.
Oh, the promenade.
Yeah.
But no, we don't have to replace that.
No, we don't have to. The only reason it comes up is because one of the engineers was out there and he was looking at, don't ask me, how the pool deck meets the fencing, meets the seawall, and he went, oh, this might have to come out. I'm like,
If you remove it, if we would have to remove it.
Then you have to bring it up.
Yes.
to code.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting at.
so we're
Originally,
trying to
we had
figure out how to.
Because we have on that on the outer wall here, part of it's 4-inch, part of it's 6-inch.
Oh, I don't know for sure.
Oh, by the parking. Yeah, I know. That's ugly. I'm throwing it out here. How much, we have this pool other feature for electric, greenery, furnishings. We're gonna want something. We're probably gonna want new furnishings. The furnishings.
Yeah, because they spent $10,000 on all that stuff. That's what I spent.
6,000.
Was that all of it? 6,000? Oh, I thought she was 10.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's gonna be, it's double or triple price if you want something nice. It's gonna last us. So I don't know, I think I threw a number, I thought maybe I didn't send a number of that. But it's probably gonna be like 20 grand just for lawn chairs and at least.
I think you're right. I've been pricing them too.
I mean, because the umbrellas are in rust, and if you go look at it, they're all.
Yeah, those umbrellas are
They
disgusting.
need tables, and
All right, and we don't know what we need in terms of electric or.
I don't think there's any electrical major problem out here. It's just with lighting here. I think
Should we cut that down to 30?
How much is for electrical? What was that?
We're waiting for proposals and Kathleen's working.
Yeah, E-Star and Yarborough so far.
How much is it?
Contacted.
What's the?
I don't know, I haven't seen.
No, but I'm just saying.
Oh, we have $100,000 for pool other features, electric, greenery, furnishings, etc.
Should be able to
Maybe
half
half
it.
it.
At least, yeah.
45, 50.
Let's 50, okay. You're keeping track of this somehow?
Possibly.
Okay.
I got it.
All right, so let's go back to the pool. This is the part, I think, where the lack of a plan is really kicking our butts. Because we don't know, are we gonna have to take up the concrete? Or will we have to use the concrete?
I can tell you, we've had a lot of opinions. I mean, the people that.
By who?
The vendors that we've talked to, if you want to do that decorative concrete, they said you can't put new on top of the existing, that they want to take it all out.
Yeah, we've heard that.
Or one company come with the last company that just came in that, who went, it was.
Yeah, I know, there's the
He said that he thought they could come in and get engineering to prove that they could come in and put like a 4-inch.
topper.
On top of it.
That'd be
with
wonderful.
rebar and all that stuff.
Mhm.
As long as the surface can take that weight and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they can stamp it and be brand new.
See, this is where we don't have a plan.
But I mean, I just figured out, it's 19,800 square feet, we figured, or excuse me, 9,000. was
Something,
nine
around
thou-
10.
Yeah, let's say 10,000 square feet, and you multiply that by whatever the price of I Googled it, and it's like, whatever the price is.
No,
to-
you did. Your prices are in here. Jenny copied them too.
So I think that since both of our estimate, like the highest was 330.
Mm-hmm.
We put in 350, so for sure we can take off 20.
Okay.
And we
more
went,
than that if
and
you want.
and I say, I don't see why we put pavers back in if we're gonna go with floors and concrete. It'd be foolish to put double,
Yeah, we don't, I mean, these are discussions to have with the designer.
but between like.
And the first question for him is, I think what you've been bringing up, which is what's the word I'm looking for? Like longevity, like what are we gonna put down that's gonna,
5 years have to be replaced.
right? What's not gonna break in 5 years and then we have to replace it, right? Okay, so where do we get to if we add up the 43, the 35, the 30, the 50? Where does that get us? Madam
Okay,
Treasurer.
can't quite do it that way.
Okay.
If we leave that number as is
Mhm.
and the other changes we made, we are now down to this number being 489,659.
Okay,
So
did,
we've taken like 200 grand off.
did you take,
Need contingency at 20%.
Yes, we have not adjusted that at this time.
um,
And that number can go down since we adjusted.
so did you still include the things that are reserve
Yes.
projects
Yep.
and? It's 100, 130, 180, okay, because it's giving us 100. All right, so we brought it down to about 160. Did the reserves amount recalculate? For the contingency, I'm sorry, did the contingency amount recalculate?
Working on that, right?
Okay. Come on, I'm gonna start calling you my little AI. Is what the
So contingency is now down to 113,000 at 20%.
Okay.
So now I'm calculating the, why didn't that ever change? Oh, I know. All right, so now we should be at 457,499.
So now we're down $200,000 off of, so almost a third. We're down a third. I have a question, Kathleen. I don't know if you can answer this. And by the way, I realize it's really late for you. I'm sorry. So hope you come in late tomorrow.
Thank you.
Let's say we approve. This is all hypothetical. Let's say we approve I can't even think anymore. Let's say we approve a special assessment. I'm just gonna pick a number for $500,000. And let's say we are gonna split it up into $250,000 in February and $250,000 in June, just hypothetically. And then let's say sometime between now and February, we get all these proposals in and we go, oh, we don't actually need $250,000 in June. We can do with 200,000. Can we at that point revise the second part of the assessment?
I have no idea.
Or raise it? Yeah.
Yeah, see how we put in.
Fortunately, so
Cancel.
I've kind of looked through the special assessment stuff in there. And
If in my mind, if you haven't made the second
Payment.
payment,
Should be able to
yeah,
to change it.
cancel it.
Yeah.
Potentially, well, let's find out if it can't be changed. There is a difference that is lower. We can go to the members and say, what does this go on? But I believe you can change it.
it would seem
It would make sense that we.
But I really would like it split up in as many as
do it,
possible.
the board should be able to vote.
I
to
would
do
like
it.
3 tranches, not just 2.
I think that.
I would think
one, two.
You probably have to have another meeting and just vote to change it, I suppose.
Yeah.
Where's the cash flow? You have the cash flow?
Yes, I've got the cash flow. The problem is that the exterior repairs are very front loaded, as is the E ELSS.
I think we can make 2 work. I don't think 3 unless we are going to purposefully delay.
Yeah.
Well, and there's
But
no
they don't
guarantee
all-
that everybody's gonna pay either, because
They
we've got,
don't-
right now, we've got 6 people that haven't paid the last assessment.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, we have 6 people.
You don't have to have them all at the same levels. Fine, as
What do you
long,
mean all the same level?
they
You
don't-
Like larger, smaller?
because it is very front loaded. That's the only thing I'm worried about. We've got to try and ease the pressure at the start. It's incredibly front loaded.
I don't.
Most people want 20 or 50% on that. I mean, they want like 20% on the side. and the side
Oh, for
contract.
contracts.
And then
It
they want
depends on the
50%, most want 50% within a short period of time.
It depends. If it's a
So-
1-month contract, it's different from something that's.
Yeah, so I was thinking, with this schedule, we can consider holding 5 months of the pipes
Mhm.
as a second payment due like June 1st.
Okay.
So wait, what do you mean?
Unfortunately, that's not gonna be like half or anything.
No.
That's 567,000. So it's like
Can
$4,000 or
you say that again? 'Cause I was
$5,000.
pretty sure the pipes were monthly payments,
Mhm.
not, maybe I misunderstood you. I thought you were saying.
So we collect all of this.
Yep.
And then on June 1st, we make this be due.
Got it.
Right? So we get all of
Oh, I
this due
see.
on June 1st.
Got it.
So we should be good to go.
This
for the
is
rest of the
due
project.
on 2/1.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Okay. That would seem reasonable. Okay, and these numbers, of course, will adjust if we change the. All right, so back to the pool, because that's where we need to make our decision. Does anybody else see how we can cut some money out of here?
Yeah.
I don't think.
No. I mean, again, we could cut like 20,000.
Yeah, let's take 20,000 off of that. I mean, God forbid we get proposals and we find out what it's actually gonna cost, and then
So
if it's more.
is that what you're thinking about, having 2 assessments? Is that what
That's what Jenny was talking about, like,
It'll be sub-split.
this amount would be due on February 1st to get us all the way through May.
I got you.
And then on June 1st would ask for the additional money to get us through June to October.
Well, you probably want to go
This
May,
thing-
you probably better off go May, get them off ahead, right? Because you already have it go off this one, right? More than May 26, whatever, for start.
I will defer to Jenny.
I don't know. I'm just thinking about being. I don't know.
Giving people a chance.
Well, I guess that's true. Yeah, that'd be fine.
People
And
actually.
I think CA has them due on the 1st.
Yeah.
So, no, we can't pick another day.
No.
Okay.
I'm just, okay.
All right. So where are we at on the pool?
All right, so with reducing that, we're now at 437, 499.
All right. Down from 649, 659.
Oh,
So
wait a
probably
minute.
not.
Let me adjust the contingency again.
Formulas, baby, formulas.
You put it in.
Should have. Oh, wow.
Because bathroom, let's say if we can reuse the tile to the bathroom, if we can do.
I got all that tile from the.
No, that's what I'm getting at. We can make that, use the tile, we do that, but I don't know what the codes are. We can do a lot of it, but yet, I don't know what the rules and codes.
We can find out.
We can get some people, volunteers to help, somebody bring food down, food and water, I'll work for free.
You need a permit to lay a different floor.
No, around here you don't know. I mean, like handicap, you need like a door.
Do not mention that.
Please,
But Lucy, it's just door, it's a door.
And apologize later.
Right, yeah, there you go.
But
I
it's
get
just a
fired in
door,
the
it's just a
process.
door and a handle, so that's all you need.
All right, so now we're at 433, 499.
433, okay. All right. Well, we've brought it down more than a third. I think what this will let us do is if people, after we get the first round of work done, then we can look at doing the bathrooms more neatly, doing more doodads on the pool deck, adding stuff to the grills, like as a second round.
Not as, we can look at what the money's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the longer we wait, the biggest thing is all this stuff is, how much is this going on? Labor, I hate to say there's no cheap labor anymore, because what's
Yeah.
going on. And it's gonna be, it's gonna double in the next 6 months, because everybody's going solid.
So where are we in terms of total dollar amount for the?
One moment.
I know you are, and we're doing a fantastic job.
We're doing that. Can we move forward on the lights? I mean, that was part of the assessment. We have to have money.
Yes.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
have an appointment on Monday and, right, Monday?
I think so. I
At
don't know what time it is.
1:30, yeah. And he's got designs. What we did was we got permission to use the lighting guy that Bill Graham worked with. We said, would you please contact Bill and see if it's okay if we work directly with you? And that worked out. So we're meeting with him on Monday, Victoria and I. And he's got some ideas and we haven't seen him yet.
Will we do that work in-house or Paul again?
Paul, his company, I've asked them to bid on the labor and also Yarborough. And then I was gonna wait to see if he had a list of other electricians that he's worked with, maybe pick one more and get a third bid.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, got yours. You ready? Okay. Okay, so now total, if it were all in one payment. For A-type unit, $15,098.42.
Wait, what's the total for the project?
Oh, sorry, so we're now at 1.8 million, 21,280 and 70 cents.
Get that 70 cents.
No, I don't understand. That doesn't seem right.
Sounded hard. compared to where we were.
That doesn't seem right.
This went up.
Which one went up? Oh, you're right. It did go up. That's 136. Okay, so it went up by.
All right, so let me check my numbers.
23,000.
So we still have pipes at 943, 918.
Yep.
Windows at 306, 963.
Mm-hmm.
The drywall.
Pool barbecue is now at 433, 499.
Mm-hmm.
Drywall 136, 900.
Mm-hmm.
That totals $1,821,280.70.
Really?
What was it going up? Almost 30 or 20 some thousand.
Okay, all right. Okay, and what is that per unit in? You said you had that calculated.
All at once, it's $15,098.42.
What's the B unit? For the 3 bedroom?
A is 17,666 and 42 cents.
And that's gonna be split in two. correct?
So if we do the two payments with 5 months of pipe due in June, payment 1 on February 1st would be $10,397.28 for A units. And payment 2 would be $4,701.13.
So twice as much on the first payment and the final third on the last payment.
Yeah,
And that
We have to be called.
because everything is,
I know, I'm just saying,
Yeah.
You gotta
It's
do
that
something.
tough.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does anybody see any other?
I don't see anything that we can do.
We could have a big drywall party.
Like the barbecue area, that was a house, price I got for average for the price was a
Yeah.
house, probably great. And people don't realize that,
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but it's expensive. I
it
mean,
is expensive.
This all focuses and lives on the pipes, exterior repairs and ELSS. We haven't got any room.
And we gotta start going somewhere, we gotta start going somewhere to improve.
The
the quality of the building.
That's it, we've got to do this.
It looks good.
Okay, so I
Agreed to do it.
I propose that we approve it as is with the idea that in the next couple of months, we will get proposals for the pool so we can really narrow some of these numbers down.
Yeah.
And then we,
You wanna say it up or down, but-
well, I don't want it, and then we can vote to modify the final payment
Yeah.
based on the actual proposal.
Okay, there you go. So that's good.
Are you ready?
And obviously,
Secretary?
Say that again.
Okay.
So
So,
are you moving?
well, I'm gonna communicate to Ronnie first so she can bring it down. So we currently are going to approve a assessment of this dollar amount, $1,821,280.70
Okay.
to be paid in two assessments on February 1st and June 1st. With the understanding
Okay.
that we will, this is an aside, by the way. My understanding is that we're supposed to get a design from Terra Nova sometime this week, a preliminary design. And if I remember correctly, he also said he was going to get us preliminary costs. And he was sending it out for some proposals from contractors. So with the understanding that we will get proposals for the majority of the pool work prior to the 6-1, I'm sorry, not 5-1, 6-1, prior to the 6-1 assessment, and adjust that assessment accordingly.
It could be up to $200.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I get it.
All right, can I get a motion? Can I read that? Can I get a motion to approve the special assessment of $1,821,280.70 to be paid in two assessments on February 1st and June 1st, with the understanding that we will get proposals for the majority of the pool work prior to the 6-1 assessment and adjust that assessment accordingly.
Okay.
Did we have a percentage or? did
I
you-
have a question about that because you're front loading the first one, so
Yes,
you
the-
need to put that
Not
somewhere.
how much, I think, yeah.
The dollar amount? Or-
Well, didn't you say it was?
Oh,
gonna be-
yes.
So it's not 50-50, it's.
It's 2/3, 1/3.
Oh, okay, yeah, somehow get that in
The
the
dollar amount in to be clear.
Well, but then would have to, oh, okay, do you have a total?
Well, yeah, so the first payment is 1.254, 195,
Wait a minute.
254.
254,
195
95,
and 70 cents.
70 cents.
I always rush. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay. First.
And the balance is due.
There you go.
The balance is the other one.
Okay.
Okay.
Balance on June 1st
Second. Okay.
is just the balance. See, that's the first payment and that's the total.
Okay, balance. Due on
Ronnie's going out with a bang, isn't she?
June 1st.
We're putting her to work, put her through her paces. All right,
Right, Just tell me if I got this.
All right. Can I get a motion to approve a special assessment of $1,821,280.70? I have a question. Do I need to say what it's for, or can I just say, you know, per the attached? I'm asking, I don't know.
Just say, is there a?
I would try to get everything in there.
Oh, for God's sake.
I mean, just list the.
Okay.
the cat- You got numbers, you got. And then you had them all named. Just
Okay.
list the names.
Can I get a motion to approve the assessment for $1,821,280.70 for lining the waste pipes, water intrusion repairs and immediate balcony repairs, pool and barbecue restoration, and drywall for ELSS?
No,
ELSS overrun.
yes.
Shouldn't it say estimated amount?
No.
Oh,
Okay.
And ELSS, do you want to just approve for ... You don't have to write them all in now. It is piece of paper. I feel like it's Groundhog Day. Okay, so I'd like a motion to approve $1,821,280.70 for lining waste pipes, water intrusion repairs and immediate balcony repairs, pool and barbecue restoration, and ELSS overruns to be paid in 2 assessments on February 1st and June 1st, with the understanding that we will get proposals for the majority of pool work prior to the 6-month assessment and adjust it accordingly. The first balance will be $1,254,195.70, and the second balance on June 1st will be calculated accordingly.
I so moved.
Thank you. Can I
I
second?
thought you were moving.
No, I was asking for a motion.
Okay,
All right, can I get a second? I moved.
You can second.
I seconded it.
I think.
And John
And
seconded it.
and now discussion, can we still enter in?
Are we done?
How many seconds?
All of us.
Pick a one.
We all, yeah,
You got a motion, now you should have discussion.
we did
What do
it
you think
backwards.
it's doing?
We had the discussion first and now we're voting.
Should either have say.
Are you allowed enough time, February 1, it's been started, you're gonna get your money in time, I'm worried.
I think so. I think Jenny has been talking to CA, but let me ask her. Jenny, we want to know if we have enough time to get our money in by February 1st.
Can you get your project started, you're only gonna get your money in February 1st.
We're gonna have to.
You can get your project started, so you're not gonna have to delay. And then on the pool ones, June 1, does that mean we're waiting 6 months before we start? our pool?
So currently, the June 1 payment is just gonna be the last 5 months of the pipe project, because that's gonna go for 7 months. So everything else we're gonna collect now.
Okay, so it won't delay any of the project.
Money shouldn't delay the project.
Hopefully.
So will you have a special assessment account effective February 1, showing funds going into it and expenses that have already gone out, and not the expenses being reported in the operating budget or in the other special assessment?
I cannot guarantee that we will have a new special assessment account. I keep getting a no answer from CA. I need to talk to them further about that.
I'm going up the chain of command at CA.
Yeah, because we need to talk to Lola.
Yeah,
You should have.
Great. Lola.
Yeah, that's who we're gonna meet
Talk
with.
to Lola.
Do your jobs.
Yeah, so we're going to meet with her about all of our concerns around the accounting. As well as, and I'm just gonna email her and be like, will you tell me really if we can't do this, so why? But really, you have to let us do this.
I have
So,
suspicion
that's the hope.
you will be paying bills prior to
Yes.
1st of February.
Well, yes,
Where are you going to show those expenses?
currently in the operating fund.
They have to move them over
You
back.
delineate them then, because you haven't been doing that with the hurricane assessment.
I've been trying to do most of them.
Didn't the hurricane expenses happen prior to the money coming in?
Yes.
Yeah,
Most
and
of them
then
did.
the operating costs have been going into the operating budget. And they're still in the operating budget.
And they
And
will be
I didn't
corrected.
know it was the income. When it came in, looking at the special assessment account. It's all there in one lump sum.
Yes, it is.
Cash. Doesn't say this is hurricane, this is ELSS, and it's really, reporting for it.
I don't know if it helps anybody. I think the previous require, I
Yeah,
think we.
it-
I said.
Happy with just, it needs to be separated.
Yeah,
I-
you should,
I didn't know
anybody
much
should
about
go and
this
look at
until today.
exactly what your, I mean, that's of what your.
Don't forget,
Each fund should
It
be.
sounds like they're
Don't
underway.
forget, we can get, it might be lineation by line if we get other issues, but it needs to be separated.
Yeah, and yeah.
Minimally, we have a
And by,
separate account for it.
Yeah.
project.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, all that can't be one fund, all those. can-
We've done it before, we should read.
You can't have separate accounts for it. I mean, you can, but it'll cost you more than like.
But we can't, oh, I
So the meeting is still open.
The meeting's not over yet. Okay, let me just look at the agenda. Do we have anything else?
No.
All right.
Still recording, I'm shocked.
What? Okay.
I'm still recording.
All right, unless there are any final comments or questions?
What's going on?
Thank you.
John, any final comments or
No,
questions?
nobody asked.
Okay, no.
Okay.
No,
Bob?
the only thing I was gonna say, I don't think it's gonna happen. I was on reserves. I think we come back and tell the members if there are any reserves. And we go and ask the members what we know.
Oh, you mean if we have money left over? Yeah. Okay, all right. I would like to move that we adjourn the meeting at 8:46.
Take the official vote? No.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
Yes.
You did?
Yeah.
Let's do it again.
I agree.
All against? John, did you vote? You did vote, okay.
I don't like it, but
I don't like it either.
Believe me.
My retirement cut, my film back. Belly
It's turned to 8:46.
That's what I should. So yes.
Meeting has adjourned at 8:46. I'm gonna stop the recording. Thank you.